He's got it again. Quick shot. Great save, Marshner. The rebound. Scores. Jeff Street all over the rebound. As Beazle picked up the loose puck in the corner, rifled a shot. Street on the rebound.
The following is a Rogers Sports presentation.
Welcome to the beautiful Hershey Center in downtown Mississauga for OHL Primetime Saturday afternoon edition. I'm your host, Mark Heron, for today's matchup between the Brampton Battalion and the Mississauga IceDogs. And as you saw off the top, it really is a tale of two rookies. Jason Spezza leads his team, the Brampton Battalion, in scoring with 43 points. Lou Dickenson, another rookie for Mississauga, leads his team with 30 points. And you talk about the rivalry between these two teams, there really hasn't been much of a rivalry at all. Brampton has pretty well owned Mississauga in the past 3 meetings, including an 8-3 trouncing on the 31st. Last time Brampton visited the Hershey Center, they also beat Mississauga pretty handily. Today, could it be different? We'll see. Adam Niddle and the boys are going to try to get it done, and we're going to take it upstairs for OHL Primetime, Saturday afternoon edition.
We stand on God for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on God for thee. Oh,
Mark Heron, our host, ringside. Fourth battle in the bragging rights for the best hockey team in the region of Peel. Doug, Brampton definitely with the edge.
Oh, Mark, they do have the edge going into this hockey game, but I gotta tell you, this is going to be a rough and tumble game. Each game in succession has gotten tougher and tougher, and this game should be no different.
Well, a real hate beginning to brew between these two teams. Last time they met, as Mark pointed out, an 8-3 victory for the battalion. 106 penalty minutes installed in that New Year's Eve tilt.
And something, Mark, that the battalion have to get away from, and that is giving up the early goals they've been doing of late.
Action just underway. Starting goaltenders in between the pipes for the Dogs. Number 30, Josh Evans, down at the other end. Number 1, David Chant, who had a spectacular second period on the New Year's Eve game, turning back 21 of 22 shots when the Dogs outshot Brampton 22-8. Puck deep in the Brampton zone. Captain Maliko will just flip it the length of the ice, and we'll have our first whistle of the game as Ivan Surik is back to touch it. We had an interesting conversation at the beginning of the game with Mississauga head coach Jim Halton, asking him, is it a tough feat now to keep a positive attitude with his team? And he said he likes to sort of separate his games into 5-game installments.
And he has seen a progression from each 5-game installment. He has seen his team get better and better every 5 games. Will they take a step backwards? Of course, they're a young hockey club, but I'll tell you something, Mark, he has got this team playing to at least a mental level that they show they can take off from.
First chance there, handled easily by Chan, and we've got Sebastian Savage jostling in front of the net with the defenseman, number 8, Brad Woods. On the other side, I'd like to extend congratulations to interim head coach Rob O'Brien, as he picked up his first OHL win as a head coach on New Year's Eve, and has also been named as a replacement. He'll be an assistant coach with the Ontario under-17 team, filling in for Mike Fuda, who has decided to stick with his St. Michael's Majors, as the Majors are looking to make the playoffs this season. Spezza in over the Dogs' blue line, drop pass. Finally picked up there by Barker. That shot is wide. Armstrong now watched closely by Spezza, and Spezza comes up with it. Out there with McSwain and Barker up front for Brampton. Countering the kid line for the Dogs, Wiseman, Dickenson, and Savage. Wiseman in over the Brampton blue line. He stopped, and the Battalion come back. Spezza into the Dogs zone. Shot handled easily by Evans, and Davis will now pick it up. We'll have to keep an eye out of the side of our head and see how closely they watch Jason the Sensation Spezza. He is really ripping up the league so far, especially for a 15-year-old.
I'll tell you something, Spezza is a guy that most teams seem to take special attention and special care in watching.
Well, they should. Currently ranked number 2 in the rookie scoring race. Behind the Majors, Sheldon Keefe. Back to the line, Harrison just does a nice job to send it down low to Torres. Raffi Torres has it just fall off his stick. Unable to clear it nicely was Davis. He's bowled into the corner, but the Dogs come out. And over the line, Claire backhand. Chant has it, bobbling loose, and the whistle goes. I believe referee Craig Spada lost sight of the puck.
Well, it's something the Battalion been watching from Chant. He's been very good lately of controlling the rebounds. This one here, luckily the whistle was blown down on him as trying to go up top. Chant knocks it down, gives up the rebound, and a great opportunity for the Dogs to get on top early.
Well, especially from number 10, Fraser Clare, who has been a very pleasant surprise. The Dogs, of course, acquiring him for the Joel Dezane trade, who, by the way, is really ripping it up with the Barrie Colts. Bert Templeton very happy, acquiring the services of ex-Mississauga defenseman Joel Dezane. We'll have another whistle. That'll be just outside the Brampton Battalion zone.
You know, you talked about Battalion current head coach right now, Rob O'Brien. He's filling in for Stan Butler, who's at the World Juniors. And O'Brien has done a good job at just maintaining a level of confidence with this hockey club as well, with Butler's presence missing from the dressing room.
Fight for it just inside the Brampton blue line. Middle in there to poke it free, and the Dogs send it in. Maleko out of his own end, in over center, sends it into the Mississauga zone, where Evans will leave for Coughlin. Matt Coughlin doesn't like what he sees. Thompson on him, circles and reroutes, just bounces it off the glass, where Niddle will now pick it up and send it right into the Brampton zone. Fletchy met at the line and absorbs that hit quite nicely. And Brampton comes out. Fairly tentative start between these two teams. It's not like they don't know each other so far. And as you point out, Doug, Brampton, a habit of falling behind early. Conversely, the last few games, it's been Mississauga that has been able to jump out to an early lead, although they're just have been unable to hold it. Long cross-ice pass out of the reach of Theobald. Chant has to come out to play it. Icing waved off. Dickenson able to knock it down. Theobald will just advance it a little farther, and he'll make his way to the bench. Knocked ahead by Armstrong. That's going to be called on the glove pass, as Niddle didn't see it coming. 16:50 left here in the first period. No score between the Brampton Battalion in their military green and the Mississauga IceDogs in white. In case you're wondering why the sweater change, that of course takes place after January 1st.
You know, it's going to be important for both these hockey clubs, because they are young hockey clubs, to clear their zone as quickly as possible. Something that you saw the Battalion inside their own zone. They couldn't get it across the blue line. They've had trouble in the past doing that, as have the Dogs, and that's where these two hockey clubs will get in trouble.
Well, especially if you look at tonight's lineup, 16 rookies on the ice for Brampton as Chant handles that shot and will freeze it. On the other side, Mississauga fielding 14 rookies. And that's a good example, Doug. You're very familiar with the Brampton Battalion, and it's quite common for Brampton to take the whistle when they can. They'll take their chances at a face-off.
Absolutely. Chant doesn't want to give anybody a crack. It doesn't matter if it's from the outside. Conversely, the IceDogs have done a good job, and I know they're working on it. As we talked earlier off the air, the IceDogs are working on keeping the shooters to the outside for the battalion as well.
In to retrieve it for Brampton, that's McLaughlin, Cam. Brampton finally to get it out. Spezza can't move it ahead, but Woods picks it up and sends it into the Mississauga territory. Davis is in there first. Barker gives him a bump, comes to the point. Woods high pass out of the reach of Kirk McSwain, but Barker's in there to get it. Centering pass, McSwain couldn't handle it. Dogs unable to clear. Second effort, it works. Sent right back in by McLaughlin. No icing called. Both teams making changes. Winding it up now out of his own end. This is Davis. Lead pass for Wiseman. He missed it, and they'll just go to the bench back to touch it as Maleko. Icing will be called.
That's what we were talking about. Coming out of your own zone, you got to make those nice, crisp passes and put it on the tape. Give the guy a chance to be on the fly when he's coming out of his own zone. And you saw it right there. He missed a pass by a good 3 or 4 feet, and it went all the way down for an icing. Now you got a face-off deep inside your own zone.
The battalion hold the edge in the meeting so far between the two expansion franchise. And some pretty big victories for Brampton, 6-3, 8-1, and 8-3 on New Year's Eve. Was, of course, the fourth of 6 meetings between these two squads. Scramble after the face-off, Mississauga unable to bounce it hard enough out the boards. And a good effort by Bateman to just send it back to the D. Havel now has it. Lucas Havel in over the IceDogs line, hauled down. We're going to have our first penalty of the night. Tripping will be called. And in some respects, you can't really blame him for pulling down Lucas Havel, who had quite a game on New Year's Eve for Brampton.
Well, he certainly did. And you watch Havel, he's got great speed, not only straight ahead, but he moves to the side very well. And coming across the blue line, just hauled down. So that was pretty basic on that penalty. But Havel had the hat trick in the first in team history New Year's Eve. And I'll tell you something, this kid, when he turns it on, I'm not sure he's used to this long season as of yet, but when he turns it on, he certainly can play with anybody in this league.
3 goals and 1 assist on New Year's Eve for the Brampton Battalion. Number 15, Lucas Havel. Battalion gained possession. Maleko shot fanned on it. And Barker in there first to pick it up. Again to Maleko. His shot wide of the mark. That rebound off the ledge high, and the Dogs still can't clear. Page in there. Second effort off the boards. Finally gets it out. Jason Maleko, first goal in Brampton franchise history. Bounces it off the boards, couldn't get it to Spezza. Armstrong puts it off his own man, Page. Page tracks it down. Maleko's in there first. Barker will have to spin and try to elude Fraser Clare. He does. Page in there to meet him. And now Spezza has it. Weaves his way to the far side, leaves for Havel. Looking for Maleko, decides to shoot. Low shot deflected into the near corner. Poked ahead by Maleko. He takes a bump. Page chops at it, can't get it out. Spezza ridden off by Clare, and he's able to just get it outside the blue line. 58 seconds left in the man advantage for Brampton. Here comes Havel. Too many white jerseys meet him, and the IceDogs will clear.
Well, the battalion not doing a great job of setting things up in their own zone. They've got to be able to move the puck around, and they're just not doing it. They're trying to stick on their way and make one too many moves.
Dogs. Theobald redirects that one towards David Chan, and he'll put the mid on it to give us a whistle. 37 seconds left in the power play for the Brampton Battalion. 14-17 left here in the first. No score, Brampton and Mississauga.
So some changes in the lineup for the IceDogs. John Zubek is out again with a little bit of back spasms, and Drew Felder is out as well. For the battalion, you've got 3 changes. Jim Bradley still has the sore ankle, as does Aaron Van Loosen. And Tyler Hanchak had a concussion, so he's missing from this game, and he's going to be one of the defenders that's missing big time for the battalion.
Having a great season, the rookie is. Second-round draft pick for the battalion. And he, along with Jay Harrison, will be making their way for the under-17 tournament. They'll be joined by Mississauga's Lou Dickenson. Chant wraps it around the boards to Torres. He nudges it up ahead now to Bateman, and he'll bring it out. Bateman in over the Dogs line. Send it down a little farther to Torres, who's out there with Thompson, and Bateman up front for Brampton. Get it down low to Torres in tight. Low shot deflected off into the corner. Penalized player Durant back on. Blast from McLaughlin. The rebound knocked away by Zurich. Brampton still with it. Thompson down low, centered in front. Torres couldn't handle a quick pass out into the slot. Brampton still with a pressure soft shot handled by Evans. And now the Dogs will clear and are able to make the change.
Zurich, a great job in front of his own net, making sure that second and third shot was not taken against Josh Evans.
That has really progressed for the Mississauga IceDogs. A young defenseman who played his Mississauga hockey with the Reps last season. Dickenson out with Niddle and Wiseman now up front for Mississauga. Niddle missed his check, and Orr just knocks it down and nudges it up a little farther. Niddle sends one towards Chant. He'll put the mid on it and freeze it. 12:47 now left here in the first period as you have a look at goaltender David Chant. 5th round selection of the Brampton Battalion.
And it has been a pleasant surprise. He's faced a lot of rubber for the Battalion in their net. He's averaging about 45 to 50 shots a game. And if you think that's easy to knock off, I'll tell you, Scott Delavedova's had his problems in the net, but he's also come up big in a backup role for the Battalion as well.
Dickenson in to take the draw for the Dogs. He's able to just pluck it away from McSwain, but it's Brampton that gains possession. Armstrong in a race with Freya. Freya ties his man up. He's able to wrap it around the boards. Nobody there but Adam Niddle. Niddle's centering pass deflected by Reynolds. They'll just chop it down yet again. Orr sends one up to Niddle. Niddle on the near side. Couldn't get any movement. That's intercepted by Brampton, and they'll just send it back in. Davis now circles behind his own net. Brampton wants to make changes. Davis in over center. Around the boards on the far side in there first is Brampton. They just get it out. Now Dickenson has it. Neither team able to really sustain any kind of decent pressure other than the first Brampton Battalion power play. But Evans was equal to any shots directed towards his way. In behind the net, trying to muscle his way past Jay Harrison. Can't do it. That, of course, a young Daryl Cowan, and we'll have our first Brampton Battalion penalty. And a little chat between big number 19 Pat Parthenay and Adam Niddle. That's a fair matchup if that decides to progress any farther during this game.
Well, I'll tell you something. It's very important for the Dogs to use their speed. Guys like Chad Wiseman really need to use the speed that he outside, because this young Brampton defense will not be able to contain them if guys like Wiseman want to go to the outside and break toward the middle. If they can do that, they certainly have a chance at getting second and third opportunities on David Chant.
Well, you're very correct there, Doug, especially when you consider one of the best aspects of this Brampton Battalion game is their transition game. They can get out of their end, get that quick cross-ice pass very effectively. Page battling in there with Spezza, but Spezza puts a soft shot to just get it out of his own end. Clare, Page, and Cowan up front for the Dogs. Spezza and McSwain up front for Brampton to kill it. Comes back to the point. Orr had to handle it on his backhand. He gets to Clare, centered in front. Couldn't handle it. Is Page. Then Cowan with an opportunity. That high shot is over the net from Armstrong. Clare trying to get it down low. That goes in the skates of referee Spezza. Clare's all tangled up now with Matt Hodges, and Page now has it, centering pass to Cowan out of his reach. Armstrong, little blast, deflected high and up on the glass. Sent down low. Clare knocks it down. Orr and Armstrong manning the points for the Dogs, and it's Orr that has it. Nice poke check by Spezza, and he gets it out of his own end. 1 minute even left in the power play for Mississauga. Cowan several moves. Clare now ridden off the puck by Jason Maleko. We're going to have another penalty coming up against the Brampton Battalion.
And I'll tell you something, Mark. Nobody wants to see you go into the box, but if you're going to take a good penalty, that is a good penalty by Maleko. Hauling down Clare, and Clare had the open opportunity, and Chant was going the wrong way.
Well, there were several Mississauga players making their way, and as you point out, Doug, not a bad penalty here by the Brampton captain.
Matt Hodges just outright beaten in front by Adam Niddle, and leaving Clare all alone. That's when Malenko had to haul him down from behind. Something we've seen from the battalion with Matt Hodges is he's been one of the guys they've been able to move up to the forward lines as well as playing defense.
So the 5th ranked out home power play in the OHL, the Mississauga IceDogs will enjoy a 2-man advantage for the next 54 seconds. Niddle, Thaler, Theobald, Coughlin, and Surik. Countering for Brampton, Bateman, Woods, and McLaughlin. Coughlin has it, taking his time, gets it across to Surik. The big man wants to move it over to Niddle, who now has it. Another pass, nice in front. Banding on it was Theobald. Gets it back again to Niddle, to Surik.
Thaler doing a great job in front of the net, causing some confusion for the Brampton defenders.
Coughlin's wrist shot deflected, handled nicely by Chant. Niddle again, slowly circling towards the slot. Surik takes the low position, gets it back to Niddle with time, fires it. Chant, no problem there with Thaler right on the doorstep. Loose puck picked up by Theobald. Crowd very anxious now. Theobald's shot, and Chant with another save as Brampton still can't clear. Niddle, that shot is blocked by McLaughlin. One penalized player on the ice. Chant again with a save, and Brampton doing a nice job to keep it out so far.
Well, the battalion can move from the triangle now to the box, and that should help them out.
50 seconds left in the man advantage for Mississauga. Theobald in there with Thaler, trying to get it away from Brad Woods. And now it's Woods that chops it down the ice. Pretty tough to tell between the crowd coming in here tonight. It's almost 50-50 between Brampton and Mississauga, reminiscence of a Toronto-Montreal NHL game. Now Dickenson in over the Brampton blue line. Drop pass for Savage. Gets the shot. Chant with a nice low pad save. Rebound comes back to Orr, fires it, and Chant saw it all the way. And a good heads-up play there by Matt Reynolds to just slip it towards the goaltender. Some very, very fine penalty killing by the battalion.
David Chant doing a good job at cutting down the angles and making sure that his defense had nobody in front of him. He saw the shots clearly from the point. This is the one from the point. David Chant, the shot coming on the wrist shot. Chant makes the first save. Dickenson right out in front. Tries to get it over to Wiseman. And Chant's able to cover up.
From Whitby, Ontario, the young goaltender for the Brampton Battalion. Spezza wins that draw. Battalion can't clear. Orr's wrist shot deflected, and Chant again will just freeze it with 11 seconds left in the Mississauga IceDogs power play. 8:48 left here in the first period. Mark Heinecken along with Doug Anderson, our host Mark Heron down at ringside. Saturday afternoon edition OHL Primetime live here from the Hershey Center. Savage, Dickenson, and Wiseman. Orr and Armstrong for the remainder of this power play. It's the battalion that have it wrapped around the far boards. Barker in there trying to get it outside of the blue line. Malenko set to step on the ice, and the battalion have killed the penalty. So neither team either able to capitalize on the man advantage so far.
And that's got to be a big lift for the battalion. A 2-man advantage for the Dogs, and they cannot capitalize on it. So the battalion really have a big lift now going into the last 8 minutes of this hockey game, in this period.
Well, as well, Mississauga unable to get any kind of decent rebound from goaltender David Chant, considering they now lead 12-4 in the shot department. Spezza and Clare. And it's Clare that just nudges it up forward, a little deeper into the battalion zone. Cowan. Page now comes in to pick it up, centering pass off the side of the net. Armstrong has to go down low to keep it in, deflected, and Chant is able to see that at the last second. Spezza out of his own end and in over center. Barker and McSwain crisscross, and Evans will decide to freeze it.
Armstrong did a great job at keeping McSwain to the outside and not letting him get in looking for a rebound. And
Armstrong, of course, played his Tier 2 hockey last year with the Collingwood Blues. Fourth round selection of the Mississauga IceDogs. Has had a fairly decent season so far, and that's another thing equal to the Brampton Battalion. This young Mississauga defense has really got to start coming along, and it's a maturation process, but they are progressing.
And that's what they have to do. Game in and game out. You're allowed to make mistakes as long as you're not making the same mistakes game in and game out. Don't make the same mistake twice in a game, and learn, move on. These kids will all get better as they get to play a lot more in this league.
Baylor able to tie up McLaughlin, but it's Brampton that gains possession. Loose puck picked up by Thaler. The young speedster for Mississauga, looking for a little bit of room, is able to get around Matt Reynolds and make the pass to Theobald. He's poke check, still holds on to it. Thaler didn't see the drop pass. Brampton comes right back. Centering pass picked off. Woods now bumped off the puck by Niddle. And Davis will have to retreat in his own end. Hassled there by Shane Frya. Backhand pass doesn't get out. Davis finally able to clear his own end. Frya into the Mississauga zone. Shot blocked by Davis. Reynolds all tied up on his route towards the net. And now Fowler has it. Give to Davis. Bateman on a late change arriving for Brampton. Davis just wants to send it in and make his way to the Mississauga bench. Wholesale line change completed for both squads now. Torres quickly just gets rid of it onto the stick of Ivan Surik. Didn't see Bateman, and that could have been dangerous. Dickenson couldn't handle the pass. Both teams with a lot of difficulty trying to get that transition game going in between the two blue lines as David Chant freezes it for a whistle.
Yeah, both teams looking a little lackadaisical when they try to get it out of their own zone, and that's what we talked about a little bit earlier. They have to be able to clear their zone in the first opportunity. They can't take 2 or 3 shots. That's when you get in trouble and guys are going the wrong way. Passes get picked up and opportunities happen that shouldn't happen inside your own zone.
And you got to wonder too, Doug, do you remember in your playing days, as do I, and I had a chance to speak to a few player agents, and they were also suggesting that not a lot of players like these afternoon start times.
No, absolutely not. They spend too much time the night before out with friends and things like that, and the 2 o'clock start comes really a lot too quick for them.
Bateman trying to get around Coughlin. Surik able to just nudge it into the corner and rides Havel out of the play. Wiseman, quick lead pass into Sebastian Savage. Parthenay's got him. Jay Harrison tries to clear. Can as Dickinson tries to send it in behind the net, but Parthenay is there to intercept and clear it out. Right back in on the delayed offside, gives Brampton a chance to get out. Missed the clearing pass, so as Coughlin comes back to touch it, icing is waved off, and the Dogs will now bring it out. Coughlin just moved it ahead. Neither player, Wiseman or Dickinson, saw it coming. And a very disjointed game now between Brampton and Mississauga. Centering pass, no one there. Comes back to the point. Nice low pad save made there by Evans. Up goes the arm of referee Craig Spezza.
And looks like Ivan Surik's the one going off again.
Well, you could see a penalty coming in that sort of transgression, because it's you know, for lack of a better term, it's sloppy play by both teams, and when no one really knows where they should be because all kinds of bizarre things are happening, you're going to run into a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what happens when guys start running around, and here comes the cross check right there, and Surik has gone off. So we'll see the Battalion power play one more time. The Battalion do a good job up front. Replacing Scott Thompson on this number 1 line is Brian Barker on the right side. Barker filled in when Thompson was hurt, and he's actually stuck with that line now. He used to be with Raffi Torres on the other line, on the second line.
Joining Barker, of course, Jason Spezza, Kirk McSwain, Maleko, and Lucas Havel back at the point for Brampton. Shot by Maleko right on, and Evans is equal to the task with a chest protector save.
Evans does a good job at covering a lot of territory when he goes in the butterfly. You're really, if you're going to beat him, you have to either outright beat him, and that is beat him when he's not even, have him going the wrong way, or you have to go up top on him.
Page in to take the draw against Spezza, a couple of number 9s. Spezza able to get it over to McSwain, and now Captain Maleko has it. Down on the mid-boards to Barker. They work the give and go and gets it across to Havel. McSwain positioned nicely in front of the net. Barker with time decides to pass it off again to Maleko. McSwain down low. Spezza gets his position in front. Now loose. but Orr is able to intercept the pass and send it the length of the ice.
Good job by Orr and Armstrong in front of their own net. They just backed up and really let Evans take care of the whole shebang in front of the net.
1:12 left in the power play for the Brampton Battalion. 5:04 left in the first. And that's going to be icing as Davis hustles back to touch it.
No excuse for icing on that play. There's no excuse whatsoever. Barker was standing at the blue line. He should have touched it for a two-line pass instead of an icing.
So the Battalion are penalized 200 feet, and let's have a look at some of the goaltending exploits of the Dogs goaltender.
Well, Josh Evans, as we said, does a good job at breaking this one up. Here's the breakup of the 2-on-1. This is McSwain trying to get it in front to Spezza, and Orr was right there to knock it away. But you see Armstrong and Orr back right up to the top of the crease, and that allows Evans to see the whole play in front of him.
Well, especially if you're going to have someone like Jason Spezza parked in the open on the far side.
That's something the Battalion don't have, and that's a big guy like a Scott Page to stand in front of the net and cause some havoc for the goaltender. They have to take the puck to the outside and really create their own opportunity.
And over the blue line with some good speed is Bateman. Thompson parking himself in front of the Mississauga net. Boglin's shot finds the partition and the Mississauga IceDogs bench.
In succession, all the Dog players' heads go down. Nobody wants to be near that one. You know he's going to get it when he gets back to the bench.
Oh, yeah. 4:35 now left here in the first period. No score, Brampton and Mississauga. Meeting number 4 between these two expansion franchise. Niddle now with Wiseman to kill it up front for the Dogs. Thompson and Orr manning the points. Brampton gains the draw. Bateman to Torres in front. Quick shot and a good blocker save made there by Evans. Brampton still with it, gaining the slot again. Rebound, Evans saved. And Niddle with a backhander is able to clear it. Probably the best save made tonight or this afternoon by goaltender Josh Evans. Big hit in behind the play, dodged in a nick of time there by Cam McLaughlin. As Adam Niddle was looking to put the hurt on him. Drop pass, Torres! Evans gets enough of the pad on that. Harrison unable to pinch the boards and keep it in. The penalized player Ivan Surik set to hit the ice, and the IceDogs kill the penalty. Thompson just sends it in, and Brampton wants to make changes.
That was a great job by the IceDogs to kill off that penalty, because down in the latter couple of minutes of the period, we all know it's always a big goal when you can score in the latter half of a period.
6 shots directed towards Josh Evans on the power play for Brampton. 14-10, Dogs lead it in the shot department, although it is 0-0 on the scoreboard. Hodges able to advance it. Now Frya has it. Sends it in deep. Davis in there with Reynolds. Referee Spada's arm is up. We've got a high sticking gesture made, and I believe Nathan Calverta is going to spend 2 minutes in the box.
Yeah, it will be Calverta going off on this one, and I'll tell you something, Mark. This is exactly what we talked about. Penalties in the neutral zone and penalties from blue line to blue line that just don't need to be happening. This is the kind of thing that leads to both of these hockey clubs getting down a goal quickly.
Well, especially on a dump-in, and we'll see why it's still 0-0 right here.
Well, Evans comes up huge on this one as Raffi Torres steps into that one. Bateman, right after this play, had a great opportunity at the side of the net, and Evans got the big pad on that one as well.
And a nice job by a goaltender, Evans, as well as Chant, able to direct those rebounds into the corner and out of that prime shooting area. Page able to tie up Spezza, but in there to pick it up is Brian Barker.
Josh Evans does a great job at giving his defenseman the opportunity to clear the zone.
Maleko pinching in big time from his defense position. In there hustling to try and get out as Clare couldn't do so, but Armstrong does it for the Dogs. Barker, Spezza, McSwain, Maleko, and Lucas Havel out here for the power play. Fraser Clare and Page, who's really keeping an eye on Spezza. We're going to have an offside call as Captain Scott Page is all tied up with number 9 Jason Spezza, and that is something that the Dogs have to You almost want to say they have to. On the other hand, you don't, because you don't want to take a player out to watch a player like Jason Spezza, but it's not a bad idea.
Well, we talked with Jim Holton before the game, and he said he's going to just roll the lines, and whatever happens, happens. But I'll tell you something, every time we've seen Spezza on the ice, we've seen Oren Armstrong on the point for the Dogs. Coincidence? I don't think so. And you'll also see Page facing Spezza a lot, because both these guys just play a lot of ice time.
Maleko back to pick it up for Brampton. Thaler putting a little pressure on the Brampton captain, and he decides to set up behind the net. 1:10 left in the man advantage for Brampton. 2:32 left here in the first period. Swain, Surik watching him. Swain able to get by his check and gets it back to the point now to Havel.
You know, if you're going to do what Surik just did, you got to go to the body and take it out.
Parker's quick shot, rebound, they score! Kirk McSwain has made it 1-0 Brampton.
And that comes right, Mark, that comes exactly from what I was just talking about. Surik didn't know whether to take the body or take the puck away from McSwain. He let McSwain have the puck, and it results in a Battalion goal. Here's the shot from the point. It goes into the corner. Watch McSwain go to the side of the net. He gets behind Ivan Surik, and Surik is right there. McSwain's all alone to go with a backhander over Evans. Evans really no opportunity on that one. He made the first save and did his job.
Well, Doug, when we had to put you in behind the bench sooner or later, you couldn't have called it at a better time. As you point out, Ivan Surik let McSwain, and you're going to let him go because you're killing the penalty, but if you're going to try and ride somebody off, you have to make sure you at least slow down his progress, as you pointed out. So the late penalty hurts the Dogs. Kirk McSwain gets Brampton on the board, and the Battalion still have it in the Dogs zone, but now Mississauga comes out.
Of the season, scored by number 20, Kirk McSwain. The assist to number 9, Jason Spezza, and number 15, Lucas Havel. Time of the goal on the power play, 17 minutes, 52
So McSwain
seconds.
from Spezza and Havel, the rookies connect for the Battalion, and they've got themselves a 1-0 lead. Bateman in over the line, and Evans juggles it a bit and is able to hold on to it and bring about a whistle.
Well, you know something, Mark, if you say the rookies do it again, you could be saying that all night in this hockey game.
Buffalo Bills 7.
You know, Lucas Havel on the point of the power play for the Battalion. He is a quarterback back there, but he has had his difficulty playing the defensive end. So if the Dogs want to take advantage of this, they can certainly beat Havel to the outside. He does not play defensively that well. There's another replay, McSwain going down, and Surik finishing on top of him. McSwain getting it up and over a sprawling Josh Evans.
Face off to the right of goaltender Josh Evans. Raffi Torres in to take the draw against Chris Thaler. Torres wins it, but the Dogs come up with it. Davis behind his own net, banks it off the boards. Theobald couldn't reach it, and Harrison puts it right onto the stick of Adam Niddle. And into the Brampton zone. Drop pass didn't work. Parthene watching Niddle. Thaler in to help out. He's bounced into the boards by Torres. And Niddle trying to freeze it to get a face-off deep in the Brampton zone, and he's able to do so. 1:09 left here in the first period. Brampton lead it thanks to his 11th of the season, Kirk McSwain's power play marker. Brampton on top, 1-0.
Yeah, McSwain, I'll tell you something. He's got 11 goals and 11 assists on this young season, but I'll tell you something. Him and Raffi Torres in the last 15 games have really been turning on the steam for the Battalion up front.
Thaler set to take the face-off for Mississauga, able to win it from Bateman. Dogs couldn't gain possession. Brampton comes out. Quick pass by Torres, deflected there by Fowler. Now he has to retreat to pick it up. Off the boards, Niddle. He's cross-ice. Theobald is bounced along the penalty box boards by Bateman. Niddle and Parthene jostle into the corner, and now Harrison has an eye on Niddle, and Brampton comes out. Half a minute left here in the first period. Fowler tried to put together a rush for the Dogs. Maleko in to intercept that pass and just hoist one into the Mississauga zone. Reynolds gives chase for Brampton, and Fowler watches him. Davis able to bring it out. And Spezza didn't like the way Fowler took Reynolds out, and the Dogs are going back to the box. And if that last late period penalty hurt, this one might be worse.
Yeah, Spencer Fowler really inside his own zone. The puck has gone away from the Brampton forward, and all he did was give a face wash and stuck his glove in his face and pushed him off to the side. Really, it didn't even have to happen, and that's what we talked about. Nobody minds the penalties. They just don't want to see the penalties that don't contribute to the hockey game.
IceDogs penalty number 7.
Watch the hand wash come up as he gets the stick up, and there's the hand going into his face. Meanwhile, skating away with the puck is Andrew Davis. So away from the play, Davis has the puck, and you take a guy out that doesn't even have the puck.
Spezza wins the draw, gets it to Havel. Page intercepts and has a break. Scott Page. Oh, and just got it past the glove of David Shant, but unfortunately for the Dogs, it was wide of the net. Good job there by Maleko to come back in the nick of time to hassle the Mississauga captain, but my, oh my, the Dogs come so close to tying this one up.
Well, Maleko did do a great job to get back, but the puck was rolling on edge on Page from the blue line in. He really never had complete control except to just push it ahead, so consequently never got a great shot away.
Well, maybe a little inspiration is what the Dogs need. They're losing by one, but maybe the captain can get them going.
There's the rolling puck, and he tries to go from the backhand to the forehand, and with the rolling puck, it just went right off the end of his stick. But as you said, a good job by Maleko to get back and at least make them feel like there's somebody pressuring them from behind.
So after one period of play, the Brampton Battalion lead the Mississauga IceDogs by a score of 1-0. Stay with us. When we return, we'll join our host, Mark Heron, with a first period intermission.
Welcome back to OHL Primetime. I'm your host, Mark Heron. The score after one period, the Brampton Battalion 1, the Mississauga IceDogs no score. And standing to my left is IceDogs Brent Theobald. And Brent, I got to ask you a little bit about your thoughts on the game so far.
Our team's playing well. Their goaltender's playing well. It's a pretty even match game. I think we controlled most of this period. We just got a bearing one near the end. We had a good chance, and so the breaks are going to come eventually, and as long as we force them in their end, we can't be complaining too much. Yeah.
First half is over and second half has just begun. Tell us a little bit about what you think personally you're going to have to work on in the second half to improve as a player.
As a player, my offense is starting to come along. My confidence has come a long way since the start of the season. And if I can keep that up and put some points on the board for our team and contribute defensively, I think I'll be better off near the end of the year.
Tell us a little bit about the rivalry between you and Brampton. Do you guys get pumped up a little bit extra for this kind of game when they come into your house and they've beaten you 3 straight games? You guys feel that you got to be a little bit redemption?
Yeah, this game means a lot to us. We got embarrassed a little bit last game, and we got some pretty harsh feelings towards these guys now, and we should be taking out on them on the ice. So there's a lot of emotion in our room right now.
Great. Thanks very much. We appreciate your time, Brent, and good luck with the rest of the game.
Thank you very much.
That's Brent Theobald of the Mississauga IceDogs. Once again, the score after one period is the Brampton Battalion 1, the Mississauga IceDogs no score. We'll be back with OHL Primetime Saturday afternoon edition right after this. Welcome back to OHL Primetime. Once again, I'm your host, Mark Heron. The score after one period, the Brampton Battalion 1, the Mississauga IceDogs nothing. We're here with Assistant Coach Rob O'Brien, who is filling in for Head Coach Stan Butler while Stan is away at the World Junior Championships. And Rob, I got to ask you, what are your thoughts on the first period right now?
Well, I think both teams came to play today. That was a very entertaining period, and penalties are a big part of it right now. I thought our power play got us our goal, and we had a big kill on a 5-on-3 and then a couple of 5-on-4s. So special teams were the difference in that period.
Coach Butler's away. You've taken over the team. How have the boys responded to you so far in your coaching style compared to Stan Butler's?
Oh, I think everything's been fine. I mean, really, we've just tried to proceed along with what we were doing with as little change as possible. So I haven't done anything different, and I just want to get a good effort out of the boys every night. And Luigi Villa, our other assistant coach, he's been a lot of help too. So it's a real team effort coaching-wise around the battalion, and so far so good. The players have responded well.
Has Coach Butler contacted you or anything like that while he's been away? And if he has, what are some of the things he had to say?
we've been in contact really just by leaving messages to one another. He's very busy with the World Juniors, of course, and I think it's I think the World Juniors want Stan's emphasis on you know, trying to win a goal for Canada. So nothing specific. I just leave him messages on how the team's been doing and playing and practicing, and wishing one another well. That's pretty much it.
First half of the hockey season's over. Second half is coming up. What are some of the things you and Coach Butler are going to try to address in the second half of the season for the Brampton Battalion?
Well, we want to just continue ahead with our 3-year plan. I mean, in the first half, I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule. Our team competes to win every night. We work very, very hard. I think we want to see our players get in better condition and get stronger and heavier. And for the most part, we just want to continue to see our young players progress. You know, we play a lot of our young guys a lot of minutes a game, and their skating and their puck handling and their puck movement and transition game has been improving month by month, game by game. And we just want to continue along with what we wanted to accomplish in year one, and that is the development of the young players.
Any players stand out right now in your mind as being the head and shoulders above the rest?
No, we really have a team effort. I think we play 4 lines, so we really don't rely on one particular line. And we roll 6 defensemen, so we don't rely on one big-time blue liner. But some guys are better than others. Some guys have different roles than others. But for the most part, we get productions from lines 1 through 4 and from defensemen 1 through 6.
Well, you're up 1-0 in this game, and it looks like your team's on your way in the second half again, and we appreciate you coming on, and hopefully you'll come on again with us, okay?
Absolutely.
Thanks very much. Coach Rob O'Brien from the Brampton Battalion filling in for Coach Stan Butler. Once again, the score after 1 period. The Brampton Battalion 1, the Mississauga IceDogs, no score. Welcome back to OHL Primetime. I'm your host, Mark Heron. The score after 1 period, the Brampton Battalion 1, the Mississauga IceDogs, no score. A bit of sad news to report now. Rogers Community TV regrets the loss of a friend to the station, a loss of a friend to the community, and a loss of a friend to all who knew him.
Remembered forever. His hard work and dedication on the police show has made the program excel to new heights and is now seen by a larger audience than ever before. His role as host and co-producer of Crime Stoppers showed Bob's commitment to crime prevention as he helped produce these weekly segments for over 10 years. His input as host, anchor, announcer, and reporter on several other shows like OHA Hockey and other sporting and special events were signs of Bob's passion towards the broadcast medium. He was a natural and very much liked by those who had the wonderful opportunity to work with him. You could always count on Bob to get the job done and done well. No was not in his vocabulary. Bob's kindness, humor, and support were just some of his excellent traits. He was a great human being and will be dearly missed. Bob is survived by his 2 children, Brock and Jasmine. Rest in peace, Bob. For wherever you are, God will take care of you.
Fitting tribute to a great friend, a great broadcaster, and most of all, a great police officer. We're taking it back upstairs to Mark Heinecken and Doug Anderson for OHL Primetime Saturday afternoon edition.
Thank you very much, Mark. Yes, indeed, Bob Boomer Boyne, you will be missed. Late in the first period, the Brampton Battalion were able to go on the power play for the 4th time in the period, and at the 17:52 mark, Kurt McSwain was able to capitalize, and that is our play of the period.
Yeah, McSwain does a good job right here of heading toward the front of the net. And in this one, it's Ivan Surik in front. They can't handle McSwain off the rebound shot, and Evans is a sprawling goaltender on this one. Watch McSwain, number 20, on the back end, beating Evans over top of the glove, giving the Battalion the 1-0 lead in this hockey game, and that's where we stand, Mark.
That, of course, the only goal of the game. The Mississauga IceDogs out shooting the Brampton Battalion by a 16-14 margin. Most of those shots predominantly coming on the power play. 4 for Brampton, 2 for Mississauga in the first period. Something to pass on to you. If a few Mississauga IceDogs fans may notice the absence of number 5, Phil Vandenbuckel. Reportedly, Phil has left the Mississauga IceDogs to await a move to another franchise. The 19-year-old Stony Creek native played 31 games for the Mississauga IceDogs, and it's kind of a sad story. He was a free agent acquisition from Summerside PEI, is where he played his hockey last year. That's Tier 2, and that's really moving around considering he's from Stony Creek.
Well, I'll tell you something. With 3 points on this season in 31 games, you got to wonder what other OHL hockey club is willing to take an opportunity on Mr. Vandenbuckel. And it's nothing against him, but if he was Adam Niddle at 17 or Lou Dickenson looking for a trade, it might be a different story. But with 3 points in 31 hockey games, Mark, I don't know where he's planning on going.
Well, best of luck to Phil in his future endeavors. And as you point out, Doug, a few teams may be looking for him, but several teams are looking for players as the trade deadline starts to creep up on us. The exact date I'm not sure of, but it's usually in and around mid-January. And then the aforementioned Adam Niddle is in and amongst some of the rumors. Action back underway in the second period. Jason Maleko starting it up for the Battalion, as they have an abbreviated power play to start the second period. 1:22 left in the man advantage, but it's the Dogs that have it. Page fires it, and Chant with a rebound after a nice stop is picked up by McSwain. Second chance on the shorthanded situation for Scott Page. Both times Chant is able to stop him. Spezza gets the loose puck. Nice drop back to McSwain. He's knocked off the puck, and Maleko handles the bobbling puck, and Page forces him out. And a great effort by the captain as he'll just try to knock it out, and he's able to do so as it just crossed the blue line. Good shift for Captain Scott Page.
Absolutely. If you can't get it across the blue line with a stick, pick it up and throw it across the blue line, because all you got to do is clear your own zone, and that's the name of the game when you're killing off a penalty.
Rob O'Brien changing up his lineup. He has Thompson, Bateman, and Raffi Torres up front. Jay Harrison and Brad Woods manning the point. Thaler, who wins the draw clean, bounces it off the boards and into the IceDog zone, along with Theobald up front for Mississauga. Matt Coughlin and Davis defending the points for the Dogs. 37 seconds left in the man advantage for Brampton. Everybody's head ducks as that clearing pass comes ever so close to the ledge. And Bateman circles in his own end. Gets away from Theobald. His pass to Harrison's too far for the first round draft pick, and Mississauga just sends it right back in. Bateman's pass to Torres doesn't work, and again the Dogs chip it right back.
Brampton cannot get this power play opportunity underway. They can't seem to get across the Dogs' blue line.
Coughlin caught in an uncomplimentary position. They score! Raffi Torres spots Jeff Bateman all alone. He slips it past Evans.
And oh, how things can change on the fly. Torres does a great job at spotting Bateman alone at the side of the net. Left alone there, Bateman really beat Josh Evans cleanly. Evans, no opportunity. Torres hangs onto the puck, and the quick pass right in front, and catches Evans going the wrong way.
Well, a good heads-up play by Raffi Torres right off the bat there, Doug. He caught Matt Coughlin a little slow in turning and in essence got him flat-footed.
I don't think Coughlin knew how deep he was getting inside his own zone. I think he thought he had another 2 or 3 feet before he would run into the goaltender, and all of a sudden it was too late.
Scott Thompson, time of the goal on the power play, 1:35. For Brampton, Jeff Bateman's 12th of the year from Scott Thompson on the power play.
So Bateman on the power play from Thompson, but we'll have to see if Raffi Torres is also awarded an assist on that play.
Well, we know it was Torres that fed him the puck in front of the net, so we know that will be changed.
So a turnabout between these two teams. When they met on New Year's Eve, it was Mississauga that was able to open up with a 2-0 lead, but this afternoon it's Brampton on top. On 2 power play markers, they lead it early, 2-0. Savage knocked down into the near corner, and Brampton comes out. Spezza. Cross pass to McSwain, and caught in his skates. He just centers it in front of the net. Low shot handled there by Hodges. It's deflected, and the Dogs just clear it out. In deep is Maleko. Quickly relays around the boards to Barker, and he just hoists it out right under the stick of McSwain to Spezza. Waiting for the centering pass and a defensive play, a smart one by Orr. Spezza with not too many options. That shot handled by Evans. Rebound right on to McSwain. Dogs trouble clearing it, and now Dickenson will bring it out.
Nice job of Spezza behind the Dog net to knock that out of midair.
Savage shot stopped by Chan. Play picking up now, action both ways. Outlet pass now. That shot is deflected, and that goes high into the stands here at the Hershey Center. 17-14 to go here in the second period. It's the Battalion on top by 2-0.
Both goals on Josh Evans so far, nowhere near his fault. That one was just a clean play that was passed out in front. Bateman all alone and really had Evans going the other way and stuck it in the open side. Coughlin really just caught backing up too far in front of Evans.
Face off on the top of the circle in the Mississauga IceDogs zone. Clare in to take it. Brampton gains possession. They get it back to the point. Really settle it down, and now Clare has it. He's bounced a little bit on here by Harrison. Tripped up, play goes on. Page taken out by Parthenay. Puck comes back to the Mississauga captain. Centered in front, no one there. Now it comes back to Surik, and it hopped over his stick.
And Surik would have had a lot of time at the blue line to let a shot fly. Frya was nowhere to be found.
Frya now has it for Brampton, trying to hit Reynolds with a centering pass. But the Dogs defender is there to watch him. Clare coming back with Page. Cowan on the far side. Drop pass to Page doesn't work, and we're going to have a penalty against the IceDogs captain, Scott Page, as he tripped up number 21, or checked out number 27, Blair McLaughlin.
Shots on goal after 1 period of play were 16-14. And Mark, we talked between periods. Most of those shots came on the power play opportunities. You know, Scott Page should know better than to take this kind of a penalty, being the captain of the hockey club, and he takes it as Brampton's going back the other way, hauling down McLaughlin, and there you see referee Speda's hand go right up. A play penalty you don't need to take in the offensive zone when the play is going back your way.
Well, especially considering the effective penalty killing that Scott Page has been doing so far this afternoon for the Dogs. We'll have to see what Jim Halton does to counteract that. Spezza tied up by Baylor, and Spezza gets it back. Dumped in front is McSwain. Cross pass goes again, and Spezza trying to take it off his skates, centers it, and Orr blocked that attempt, and cannot clear. In there to pick it up now is Armstrong, and he sends it down the ice. Havel, Maleko manning the points for Brampton. Torres now out there with Barker and Spezza, as that pass is called on the offside, and that will come back inside or just outside the Brampton blue line. With 15:52 left here in the second period. Brampton on top 2-0 and on the power play. 1:26 left in the man advantage for the Battalion.
You know, something we've been watching from the IceDogs, and that is Armstrong on the point, as well on the point with him. I mean, Armstrong has been out there every time Spezza's been out there, and he's done a good job of keeping Jason Spezza from being alone and getting ice to move in. He's really taking up that ice deep inside the Dogs' end.
Torres with some speed into the Mississauga, and Evans with a big pad save. Rebound comes all the way out to Bateman, but he couldn't settle the puck down. Centered in front to Torres off his skates. Wiseman keeping an eye on him. Gets the feet knocked out from under, and Torres does, but Havel's able to pick it up and send it in behind the net. Bateman curls, spins back, gets it back to Maleko. Settles it down and gets it to Torres. Relay again to Maleko, and the Battalion continue to work it around the periphery. Bateman in behind the net, centered in front. Chance for Thompson, and it just comes off his stick with a little help by Chad Wiseman. Middle calmly sends it into the Battalion zone.
If Scott Thompson had have gone to the backhand on that, possibly a goal. Thompson elects to move the puck to the forehand, runs out of time.
Havel in over the Dogs blue line, drop pass to Torres. He has to stop, but gets it to Maleko. Battalion working it around. Thompson positions himself in front of the IceDogs net. Bateman circling. Little pass into Torres. 2 Battalion players in behind the net, and the Dogs are able to wrap it around the boards and out. Dan Armstrong doing the deed.
You know, Mark, it certainly looks nice for the Battalion to move the puck around the way they are, but they don't have any shots on goal so far.
Penalized player Scott Page back on the ice. Chance for the Dogs. Clare had the puck slip off his stick, and Maleko keeps an eye on him. Cowan out there now with Scott Page and Fraser Clare. Clare gets it back to Orr. He's under pressure and just sends it down low. Page lets that go. Clare gets it around to Cowan. Cowan back to the point to Armstrong. He's under heat from Frya. And the Battalion doing a nice job of pressuring the Mississauga D. Sharp angle shot comes up empty in front, and Chant pulled over as they're trying to get the loose puck. Play goes on. Orr sends one towards the net. We've got an injured player down. Now Page is lying in the crease with a few Brampton players on him, and we get our whistle.
A little deja vu for David Chan, having Scott Page sitting on his chest and on his back. A little bit of deja vu from December 31st game at the bunker. I'll tell you something, Adam Niddle and Chad Wiseman did a great job killing off that power play inside their own zone, rushing the point, making the point man get rid of the puck very quickly. Let's take a look at this one more time. As Page goes right for the net. Hey, Lucas Havel's not going to move Scott Page out of the way. Page goes right over top of Chad and falls on him. And watch this. Page gets up, if we can keep it running, and falls on Chad again, going back the other way. So in case I missed you the first time, here's a bit more for the second time around. Comes back to the point. Here's the shot we'll see from the point. And this is Page going over top of him again. Nowhere to be found, nobody touching him. And Jay Maleko just looking down saying, hey, buddy, what are you doing?
Great action in the Brampton goal crease as we have a face-off to the right of goaltender David Shannon. We have some offsetting penalties. Fraser Clare, I believe, is being joined by Battalion Lucas Havel.
Looks like David Chance asking his defenseman there, what are you guys doing? Aren't you moving these guys out?
Woods able to pick it up. Moves it along to McSwain. He's under some heat from Savage, but is able to get it to Spezza, and his pass goes right to Ivan Surik. Woods to McLaughlin. Centering passing now to Spezza. Dickenson watching him. McSwain has to settle it down and regroup. Coughlin bounced along the near boards. Offside will be called. 13:17 left in the second frame. Saturday afternoon edition OHL Primetime live from the Hershey Center here in Mississauga. Meeting number 4 between the expansion franchise Brampton Battalion and their first-year cousins, the Mississauga IceDogs. Brampton leading the season series 3-0. The Dogs definitely looking for some revenge. I think I just threw out a few more syllables than the word definitely has in it there.
You know, there's Cirk, and we've talked about him a lot tonight. He's a kind of guy that he's been beaten, but he's also done a good job inside his own zone at moving the puck around the boards. He's done a great job at getting the puck out of his own zone in the first crack and not giving the Battalion the second or third opportunities and shots on Josh Evans.
Native of Mississauga, Ontario. Number 23, Ivan Surik. Theobald manning the point while Blake Orr goes up front. Keep an eye on Brampton's Kirk McSwain. Baylor in with Spezza. Spezza wins that clean. It comes back to Theobald. Low shot blocked off the skates there of McSwain. Niddle dodges a check. Sharp angle shot. Rebound. Chen with one save. And another as Thaler couldn't scoop it by him. And Brampton decides to pin it, and that's a classic example of what this Battalion franchise has done for most of the year. Any situation where things look a little out of hand defensively, let's get a whistle.
And that's simply Stan Butler and Rob O'Brien sitting back saying, guys, we're too young to know what to do with the puck inside our own zone. We're too inexperienced. We don't want to give up that second and third crack. And Niddle had a couple of cracks at that before it went wide. So consequently, if you're a young team, freeze it, take the face off, and let's start all over again.
Baylor in against number 26, Scott Thompson. And it's Thompson that gets it. Parthenay working the give and go behind the net. That doesn't work too well, and Pat Parthenay gets it again. Theobald intercepts the pass along the boards. Thaler couldn't get enough wood on it. And Kearns brings it out now for Brampton. The dog sweaters to get through. Well, Thompson on the trailer's pass. His pass didn't work, and Orr brings it back. Gives to Thaler. Into the Brampton zone. He just sends a soft one around to Theobald. Thaler trying to pluck it out from the skates of Scott Thompson. Harrison comes in to help. Puck comes loose, and Brampton brings it out. Kearns sends it in while Brampton makes changes.
That was getting to be one of those opportunities for the Battalion inside their own zone, and if they didn't clear, they were going to give up the scoring opportunity sooner or later.
Niddle and Maleko all tied up at the Brampton blue line. Hodges gets it. Page watching him. Niddle watches it go down the ice as icing will be called. Andrew Davis touches it.
Well, the Dogs are certainly starting to put the pressure on the Battalion in the Battalion's end. They're moving the puck around and really taking to the body. You have to wonder if 2 games in a row against the Dogs is starting to take its toll on the Battalion forwards. They are smaller players, and they're a little bit younger players, so I'm wondering if they're starting to take the hits and they're starting to get to them now in the second half of this hockey game.
Third game of 4 in a row for the Mississauga IceDogs. Starting it off with the North Bay Centennials when they dropped an early 2-0 lead and ended up losing that game 3-2. Then, of course, shot from the point. Coughlin's shot was deflected just wide of David Shand. Get you caught up on what the teams have been doing as soon as we get a moment. Sent down in low. Centering pass is deflected high into the far corner. Page is in there first. Gets it to Davis. His backhand attempt doesn't work, and Coughlin finally settles it down now for Mississauga. Chance now for Page on the 2-line pass is called on the offside. And again, a little friendly how-do-you-do between Scott Page and goaltender David Shand.
You know, Matt Coughlin did a great job getting that wrist shot, doing exactly what a defenseman's supposed to do. Getting a low, hard shot directed at the net. It doesn't matter if you wind up and let the howitzer go, or if you let a hard, low wrist shot go, which is what Coughlin did. Make sure it's low, make sure it's hard, and make sure it's right on net. And he did all of those things.
Well, the Dogs will wrap up their 4-game stretch tomorrow night when they take on the Kitchener Rangers right here at the Hershey Center, and viewers in the region of Mississauga will be able to see that game starting at 10 o'clock. Conversely, the viewers in the Brampton area will be able to go to the Brampton Center for Sports and Entertainment and see the Brampton Battalion take on the Peterborough Beats. Frya into the Dogs zone. His shot is deflected, or all wrapped up with his man. They can't get it out. Frya bounces with Dickenson, but is able to get it ahead to Reynolds. Centered in front and all tied up with 23 there. Or checked out Hodges. Couldn't get enough on it. Dickenson comes back, cuts towards the net. A big save by David Shand. We've got a penalty coming up. Slashing is the call. So the Dogs now will get an opportunity to go to the power play, their first of this period.
Yeah, McLaughlin was just outright beaten on that play and went to the nasty stuff. Watch this. McLaughlin, Dickenson goes to the outside. McLaughlin can't control him, so he takes a shot at the arm trying to knock the puck away. Chad with a big stack pad save, but I'll tell you something, McLaughlin took a penalty just to try to knocked that one down. It wasn't a great penalty, but it's the kind of penalty that at least he tried to knock the puck away from him, caught him a little high with the slack.
And a good job there by the battalion defenders to make sure that, again, as has been the case through most of the game, Chant able to see the puck. They're giving him an avenue. From the point with a blast, and Chant deflects that one as it goes up into the stands here at the Hershey Center.
I think it's going to be important for the Dogs on this power play just to fire some rubber at David Chant.
Remember, give us a call. You are involved with the programming that's seen right here on Rogers Community TV. Let us know what you think about OHL Primetime, as well as any of the other programs seen right here on Rogers. That's the number. Drop us a line. Back to the point to Armstrong. Wrist shot deflected, stopped by Parthene, and he just gets it out. Knocked down and not handled well by Armstrong. McSwain with his blast, and Evans gets enough on that to deflect it into the far corner. Centered by Spezza, right back to McSwain. And the calm, cool rookie decides to eat a little time off this penalty as he tries to get a whistle. Several IceDogs seem to pluck it free, and they are successful. Harrison just drives it right back. It goes off of Savage on the delayed offside. 1:25 left in the man advantage for the Mississauga IceDogs. 10:07 left in the second. Mark Heinecken along with Doug Anderson and our host Mark Heron down at ringside. Saturday afternoon OHL Primetime live from the Hershey Center in Mississauga.
Very important in this part of the power play, the last half of this power play. It's important for the Dogs to have somebody. It's going to be Niddle who's going to be the one that's going to do it. He's got to get in front of the net. He's got to make the battalion defenders clear him out. That will leave some room for guys like Surik to move into the slot area and get some shots away. Give him some time to fire the puck.
Well, it's all the experienced hands up front for the Dogs. Theobald, Niddle, and Page. Surik and Coughlin back at the point. Theobald down low to Page. Niddle parked right in front of the net. Parthene, or rather Maleko, watching him. Page has it. Tried to center in front and hope for a bank. That didn't work. Deflected, they score! Ivan Surik just sends it towards the net, and an alert Scott Page is there for Mississauga.
You know, Mark, that's exactly what we've been talking about. Surik, all he has to do, and all the defenders have to do, it doesn't matter how much you let it go. Make sure your shots are on the net, and that's exactly what Surik does. Not a big howitzer, just a snapshot. It's low, it's directed at the net, and that's when Page has a chance to deflect it by David Chant.
So the Dogs capitalize on their first power play opportunity of the period on their third of the game and have cut the Brampton lead in half. The score now 2-1 Brampton.
You know, Bateman had a great opportunity to clear the zone on that one, and he didn't control the puck. And that's what we were talking about early in this hockey game. Clear the zone when you can, and the battalion weren't able to do it, and consequently the Dogs score.
Thompson coming back now for Brampton. Still has it, sends it towards Evans. He's got the blocker down paddle style and is able to clear it. So the official is Scott Page from Ivan Surik and Britt Theobald, who's got the Dogs on the board here in the second. Niddle knocks his man down, and that gets a roar from the fans here in Mississauga.
Battalion's starting to run around inside their own zone, Mark.
Davis gets it around behind the net. Theobald takes his man down. Niddle is met. But it's Brampton that gets it to Kearns, and the Brampton Battalion want to make changes. Niddle slowly in over center, ridden off here by Barker. Puts it into Theobald, but we've got an offside call. Well, that has certainly woken up the Mississauga crowd here at the Hershey Center, those that are cheering for Mississauga, because as we pointed out earlier, this rivalry, its first year of inception, both arenas only 7 kilometers apart, and no matter if they're playing here or at the Brampton Center for Sports and Entertainment, it's always packed and it's always loud.
And you know what, it really doesn't even matter which sport you're talking about, hockey, baseball, football, basketball, soccer. Brampton and Mississauga is always a great rivalry.
Chance for the battalion, and Evans gets his glove on it, and I think it just went off the crossbar. Barker bounced in there by Claire. He's able to get up and say another thank you very much, Frazier, as Mississauga get it around the near boards now to Page. Scott Page having a good game for Mississauga, centered it, and Cowan couldn't get it on his stick. Spezza can't get it past Clare, and now Brampton gets it up and ahead here to McSwain. Quick pass into Spezza. Offside called, or that would have been dangerous.
Yeah, Spezza with a good burst of speed, just a step ahead of the play from McSwain at the blue line. Jason Spezza running a goal-scoring streak, actually a point streak, as he has an assist tonight of 13 games, and the rookie's up to 44 points on the season. But he's still a little ways back of Sheldon Keefe of the St. Michael's Majors. What, about 30 points?
Well, Sheldon Keefe is just ripping it up. 34 goals, 34 assists, a nice round, 68 points. The St. Michael's Majors 18-year-old is just tearing it up this season in the OHL.
Also one of the youngest captains in the OHL as well as Sheldon Keefe.
Face-off picked up by Parthenet, and he sends it into the dog zone. Evans leads for Armstrong. His quick pass to Savage doesn't work. That will come back. Chant has to play it. Parthenet wraps it around the boards. Wiseman stopped it, didn't see it. Battalion just sent it back around the near side, and now get it to Havel. Lucas Havel from the Czech Republic has it fall off of his stick, and Dickenson now gets it with several Battalion watching him. A dangerous pass in his own end is picked up by Orr. Just gets it ahead to Savage. Wiseman bounced off the puck by Harrison, able to come back. It's all who could not at all. Sebastian Savage couldn't knock it home. Dickenson down low now into Wiseman. Bateman watching Savage. Harrison blocked that shot. The Dogs with a great opportunity to tie this game up. Comes up empty. Brampton comes right back. Torres centering pass to Bateman, and that deflection just goes wide on the far side. Maleko, his shot is deflected, or just flips it down the ice in a race for it. Dickenson and Hodges. And Dickenson puts on the brakes to let Hodges touch it.
Yeah, I don't think Lou Dickenson knew that that was going to be icing. He had the beat on that puck, and he could have touched that and waved icing off, but Dickenson looking like he's out of a little gas right now, but I'll tell you something, he could have touched that puck and elected to sidestep the check instead. Consequently, the faceoff goes all the way back inside the dog zone.
6:53 left here in the first period. Brampton lead it by a score of 2-1.
Yeah, this is the one right here where they've got Savage in front of the net, and he just can't control the loose puck. This is him right at the side, open net, yawning cage, and it's poked just from behind by Kurt McSwain.
Brampton gained possession off the draw. Davis hustling in there to try and get it out, and he does. Maleko can't find it, it escapes. Thaler has it. Middle in there with them, and Thaler couldn't get the puck to settle down. He gets it now back to the point to Davis. His pass across to Coughlin's a little too far, but Coughlin is able to just send it in a little deeper. Both teams starting off with good opportunities, but just can't seem to get the next level. Niddle with time, low shot, stopped by Chant. Rebound still loose. They hack at it. It's underneath the Brampton goaltender.
You know, Niddle had a ton of time there. He really didn't have to shoot when he did, but he did let a good low hard shot go. Chant had nowhere to be found. He did not know where the puck was, and Thaler rushed the net, but really couldn't put it in. Watch Niddle in front right here. He's got all the time in the world as Maleko backs up. Maleko elects to go down. Niddle gets the shot. It gets through the arm and between the arm and chest of Maleko. Chant looking behind him. He does not know where the puck is right now.
Well, there you see big number 16 for the Mississauga IceDogs. His attempt thwarted by David Chant. We'll have a face-off to the right of young David. Page in against Spezza. Page wins it. Shot right off the draw is wide of the mark. Orr in there to keep it in. He can't do so. McSwain beat him to the puck. Armstrong gets it from Evans. Spezza causing havoc in behind the Mississauga net, and McSwain trying to send it back to the point. Orr pins his man Spezza. And now Armstrong is able to get it out.
You know, Jason Spezza's a big kid, but he's facing a little bit older kids, so sometimes it's his reach that plays the big part for him and not his strength.
Barker just backhands it out of his own end. Clare has it, watched by McSwain, decides to go the other way where he runs into Spezza. Cowan loses it, but Clare's there to pick it up. Solo mission into the Brampton zone. Barker all tied up with Clare. Cowan tried to stop it in behind the net, and McLaughlin will now start it out. 5:25 left here in the second. Brampton lead at 2-1. Long shot in and dumped over into the boards. Page sends his man right into the Brampton bench. That was Raffi Torres. He's right back out on the ice. Torres gives Coughlin a soft tap. He falls, and they fight for it now at the center ice. And Havel leads it up now to Bateman. Savage and Bateman in the near corner. Wiseman has it, and his lead pass is too far for Dickenson. I love it if we are able to see that one again, as Page sent the Brampton Battalion player maybe a little quicker than he wanted into the bench. Centering pass to Havel, always dangerous, and he couldn't hold on to the loose puck. Centered in front, and no one there to tip it in. Wiseman gets it ahead to Dickenson. He nudges it ahead now to Savage. They had the crisscross going, and that doesn't work. Raffi Torres runs into Coughlin. Coughlin goes to the bench. Low pass now to Bateman. Kearns leaves it for him. Kearns expecting the drop pass, didn't happen. Armstrong has Bateman all tied up, and Evans wise.
Doing, especially Wiseman. He can fly, and he has very good hockey sense, but he just doesn't seem to be doing it. Lou Dickenson looks like he headed to the bench, and he looks like he's just playing in no man's land today.
Well, there was a stint when that combination, along with the other winger, Sebastian Savage, but Wiseman and Dickenson were really clicking, and as you point out, Doug, it just doesn't seem to be working tonight. Shot from the point, a hard one. Hodges just wide on the short side. Kearns rides off Theobald into the corner, and that's going to be called on a glove pass.
You know, Mark, there are nights when it just doesn't click for you, but those are the nights that you have to take care of your own end defensively. And what I'm saying is, if Savage and Wiseman don't have it up front offensively tonight, at least make sure that you don't give up anything defensively and give up some great opportunities, putting the pressure on your defenseman and your goaltender, Evans.
Face off just inside the Dog zone. Baylor, Theobald, and Niddle against Kearns, Lecce, Scott Thompson. Dogs have it. Theobald can't get past number 22, Matt Hodges, as they pile into David Chant.
Once again, Maleko is one of the guys taking an offensive player over the top of David Chant.
Well, the captain for the battalion, who played his hockey last season with the Oshawa Generals, is really seeing a lot of ice time tonight and is really doing a fine job for the battalion.
Well, it's no different from any game for Jason Maleko. Watch Niddle go towards the middle. Hodges stands him up, and then it's Maleko looking behind him, and Thaler comes right in. Maleko tries to steer him, and Thaler elects to go over top of Mr. Chant.
And you know, Chris Thaler, they rank him at about 5'9", 160, and I think that might be generous. But he doesn't care what the situation is. He will go.
And he's like Theron Fleury. He plays a lot bigger than he actually is.
Cowan gets it for the Dogs, looking for someone to pass it to. Page has to hustle up, but in there first is Kearns, and he'll just send it the length of the ice. Evans leaves for Davis, doesn't like what he sees and moves it ahead. Another blast there from Hodges, and Evans handles that. Soft pass to Page. Hodges in there to stop that. And the loose puck comes to Coughlin. Back to his defense partner Davis, and he will now have to start it up for the Dogs. Dodges a big check on, hot on the heels with Scott Thompson. Kearns in a hurry, sandwiched by two Ice Dogs. Davis pinching in from his point position, has trouble getting past Jason Maleko and Scott Thompson. Page comes in and plucks it free. Page gives to Cowan, turned the wrong way. Thompson wraps it back, and the only guy there is Scott Page. Clare calling for it, gets it. Fraser Clare with some steam, bending off his check. That's Thompson. And the Dogs just cycle it down low. Senator Clare couldn't get it. It goes towards the net, and he takes the net off its moorings. But Fraser Clare starting to generate a little offense, and looks like he may have jarred his neck a little bit.
You know, a great battle in front of the net between battalion captain Jason Maleko and Cowan in front of the net. They went toe-to-toe for the longest period of time. Watch this opportunity in front as Cowan feeds it in front. The puck goes off the skate, but following it up and going heavily, Clare takes out Chant, and there's another shot at David Chant as he goes head first, or sorry, shoulder first, and that could be a bit of a collarbone problem on
Puck in on the near half boards as the Battalion are able to shovel it ahead. Quick backhand pass where Wiseman now picks it up from Mississauga, gets it into Savage. Offside called as they attend to young Fraser Clare. And you know, Fraser Clare has really become a good story for the Mississauga IceDogs. Taken in the 15th round by the Barrie Colts this season. He played his Tier 2 hockey with North York, and it was really just a situation of numbers for him out in Barrie. Too many centermen, especially considering some of the very good players they have.
Absolutely.
Knocked back down where Orr handles it for Mississauga. That goes off of linesman Bolerbrook. The Dogs started up again. Savage gives chase against Woods. Woods gets there first, but Orr is able to keep it in. Wiseman, flip pass into Savage. He couldn't handle it. Centered almost by Woods. Back there to Wiseman, to Savage, and they cannot convert. Bouncing puck, too much to settle down. And finally, Cam McLaughlin hoists it up and over the glass to get a whistle and alleviate some of the pressure. 1:46 left here in the first. Mississauga out shooting the Brampton Battalion now 32-21.
Watch this replay. Brad Woods at the side of the net gives the puck up. He tried to go around the net and hit the back of the net with the puck. Dickenson centers it out in front. A weak wrist shot, it's deflected in front. McLaughlin goes off of McLaughlin, and the loose puck, Savage couldn't control it. Then a pileup. 4 Battalion players standing in front of the net. Nobody manning the points. If the Dogs could have got it back, they had a lot of time.
Bouncing puck again now off of the stick of Theobald. Finally picked up there by Parthene, and he springs Torres free. Backhand pass into Havel off of his skates, but Evans was there. Back to the point, Parthene just sends it in behind the net. Havel along with Torres and Bateman, who gets the pass, and his bouncing puck goes over his stick. We might have to check and see if these pucks have been frozen enough this afternoon. Davis in his own end. Gives to Theobald, sends it to the open side here on the near center ice area, and in there first is Bateman, who just bats it back into the Mississauga end.
You know, Brad Woods, normally a strong defensive player for the Battalion, but every game he seems to give the puck up once or twice inside his own zone, at least once a game. And you got to wonder if it's just a lack of concentration sometimes.
Sent back in on the delayed offside. Linesman Steve Webb there to call it. So we'll have a face-off just outside the Brampton Battalion zone with 43 seconds left here in the second. The Battalion lead it 2-1 on goals by Kirk McSwain and Jeff Bateman. Battalion opened up a 2-0 lead, and then answering on the power play, Captain Scott Page with his 12th of the season. That's where we stand. Brampton 2, Mississauga 1. Clare in to take the draw against McLaughlin. Mississauga gains possession, riding his man off is Matt Reynolds as he bounces with Page. Or picks it out of his skates and puts a soft backhand into the Brampton zone. That doesn't stay in there very long, and sending it in now is Clare. Chant leaves for Maleko. Clare in there in a hurry, so he's no worse for wear after colliding with the goal post. Or sends it into center. Puck bounces over Cowan's stick, and we've seen a lot of that in the later stages of the second period. Chance now for Brampton. Wrist shot blocked there. Or able to scoop it up as the clock will wind down to end the second period. And Maleko and Page bounce in front of the Brampton Battalion net, but nothing much happens there.
Very important for the IceDogs to get that next goal. They made it a 2-1 hockey game, and it's important for them to get back into this hockey game and get the lead in half.
Stay with us. We'll join our host, Mark Heron, with the second period intermission. After 2 periods of play, the Brampton Battalion lead the Mississauga IceDogs by a score of 2-1.
Welcome back to OHL Primetime. I'm your host, Mark Heron. The score after two periods, is the Brampton Battalion 2, the Mississauga IceDogs 1. We're here with Jim Halton, head coach of the Mississauga IceDogs. And Jim, give us some of your thoughts on the game so far.
Well, I thought we shot ourselves in the foot early in the first period. I thought we came out and established a forecheck, a physical presence in the first 10 minutes, which is what we wanted to do. And I thought we had some momentum, and then we handed it right back to them by taking a couple of needless penalties. And they capitalized on it. We made an adjustment and just stressed the fact that 5-on-5, our speed and our strength down low is starting to take control of the game. But when we put ourselves in a penalty position, that we handed the momentum back. So I was happy with the guys. They made the adjustment. We're sticking to our game plan, and we just have to be patient, and we're going to get one here.
What are you going to say to the boys after the two periods to make some, emphasize these adjustments you want to make?
Well, I think we just have to, we're preaching all along right now is mental preparation and focus. And focus means focusing through the good and the bad. And that's something we have to continue to work on. And right now, I mean, maybe we didn't get the results. We're still down by 1, but I was very happy with our focus in terms of the game plan. We executed the things that we need to do to be successful. Now, obviously, we know Brampton's going to go in and make some adjustments, so we have to be able to adjust as well. So we're going to continue to work the puck down low. We're going to have to bear down a bit more in the red zone and around the net, and hopefully things will go our way.
First half of the season's over. Obviously, you came in just before the first half. And what are some of the things you guys are going to be trying to work on in the second half of the season now that it's here?
Well, I think defensive play, that's something that you always have to work on whether you have a rookie team or a veteran team. And I think we're in a unique position having 6 rookie defensemen back there. And their confidence is coming and building every game, but obviously they're still going to make mistakes. And we just have to hopefully minimize the mistakes and eventually eliminate them. The biggest thing we're trying to stress with everyone is don't make the same mistake twice. I mean, it sounds funny, but if you have to, make a new mistake. Don't make a mistake in the same situation that you did a shift or 2 shifts prior to that. And eventually they'll encounter enough situations and through repetition that their recognition of the situation and the right play to make will come. So we're really going to stress their play without the puck. I mean, we're going to emphasize, let our God-given ability and our speed and our size, use that to our advantage offensively. I don't believe in shackling guys offensively. I want them to be creative and imaginative, but I just have some basic rules of thumb. Certain areas that we don't want to turn the puck over, so we have to be smart. But basically, we're going to stress a lot of play without the puck and getting our competition level. We have to compete and battle every night, no matter what the score is.
You got a lot of rookie players. You got a lot of first-year expansion growing pains. But, I mean, what we've seen so far, you guys are playing extremely well and you're playing tough, and that's all we can ask for you. And we thank you for coming on with us. Okay, Jim?
Thanks for all your support. Thanks.
That was Coach Jim Halton for the Mississauga IceDogs. Score after 2 periods. The Brampton Battalion 2, the Mississauga IceDogs 1. We got a close one. Don't go away. It's OHL Primetime, Saturday afternoon edition. Welcome back to OHL Primetime. Once again, I'm your host, Mark Heron. The score after 2 periods, the Brampton Battalion 2, the Mississauga IceDogs 1. Beside me is the captain of the Brampton Battalion, number 4, Jason Maleko. And Jason, thanks for coming on board with us. And tell us a little bit about Rob O'Brien. We know he's taking over for Coach Butler now that Coach is in the World Junior Championships in Winnipeg. And tell us a little bit about some of the things that Rob's been teaching you guys.
Well, Rob's a really good coach. You know, as you said, Stan's gone to World Juniors. It's nice for Stan to get that opportunity. But Rob's he's a young guy. He's very enthusiastic, and he brings a lot of energy, and he's really tries to do his hardest and work hard, just like we are. We're a hard-working team. He's a hard-working coach, and we're doing pretty good with him.
Tell us a little bit about the rivalry between you and Mississauga. Obviously, you're both expansion franchises coming into the league for the first time. You guys seem to have their number. Why do you guys play so well against them?
I think, like you said, it's a big rivalry. You always get pumped up for these games, and I think we match up very good against these guys. We're a hard-working team, and so is Mississauga. I think it's a team that we match up very good against, and we get a couple breaks, and I think we're putting the puck in the net, and that's the difference.
First half of the season's over. We've been talking about that. I mean, some of the adjustments that Mississauga has to make, some of the adjustments that Brampton has to make. But you personally, as the captain of the team, what do you look forward to in the second half?
Well, I look forward to a couple more wins. You know, we've got 5 wins about halfway through the season. We've had 3 or 4 chances to get some more wins, and hopefully the second half we can bear down in the third period and score a couple goals and get a couple more wins on our belts.
As the captain of the team, you know, what do you say to some of the guys to keep their heads up? I mean, I know it's going to be tough with you guys, you know, in your first year and everything like that, but you know, you've got to show your leadership ability. How do you do that?
Well, I just tell the guys, you know, it's going to be a long year. They're young guys. A lot of guys haven't played this much, and we just got to keep focused and keep our heads in it and just work hard, because we're not the most talented team in the league, but we got to keep on working hard, and that's the biggest tip I give it to them. Just keep on going hard and just never give up.
Great. Thanks very much, Jason. We appreciate it. Hopefully you come back on, and good luck in the third period.
Thanks a lot.
That was Jason Maleko, number 4, the captain of the Brampton Battalion, as we were talking about. The first half of the OHL season is over, and for the Mississauga IceDogs, it's been a season of highs and lows, but mostly just a team going through the growing pains of an expansion franchise. Mark Heinecken takes a look at the first half of the OHL season for the Mississauga IceDogs.
The first half of the Mississauga IceDogs season can best be broken down into 3 parts. An unprecedented 11-game road trip to start the season, the much-anticipated arrival at their new home, the Hershey Center, and the departure of head coach Peter Sturgeon, followed by the arrival of new bench boss Jim Halton. Including exhibition play, the IceDogs started the year with 16 straight road games, a vacation akin to a Griswold family adventure. Starting the regular season in Kingston and ending in Barrie, Mississauga went 0-11 and were outscored 86-19. But through it all, the team always kept a positive attitude.
It brought the team together a lot quicker, guys. In hotel rooms and pre-game meals and stuff. So it made everybody gel a lot faster. Whereas playing at home, you don't see the guys all play.
Then on Friday, October the 30th, the IceDogs finally came home. Over 6,000 fans packed the brand new Hershey Center, and they were not disappointed. Theobald drop pass in here to Sebastian Savage. Shot, they score! Sebastian Savage on the delayed penalty. First shot in the third period comes up big time. Aces for the Dogs. Over the course of Mississauga's 6-game homestand, fans had a chance to see their stars in action. Wiseman relays to Dickenson. Cross ice pass. Alte for Niddle! Make no mistake. Adam Niddle shelf on David Shand. We've got a tie game. Adam Niddle, 15 goals and 13 assists, equaling last year's total. Very wide open, a blast, and a big glove save there by Josh Evans. Bring it back to the point now. Low shot deflected, and Nick Foley gets the stick out. And putting his arms up towards his head, Jeff Zier cannot believe it. Nick Foley sparkling in between the pipes tonight for the Dogs. Nick Foley and Josh Evans have grabbed the opportunity to shine despite facing over 50 shots on more than one occasion. He's able to pick up the loose puck, centered in front. Dickenson back and rebound, scores! Lou Dickenson pounces on his own rebound, and the IceDogs are up 3-1. Lou Dickenson suffered from some OHL growing pains early in the year, but is back on track and leads the team with 29 points. Although the team boasted the #1 at-home power play in the OHL, the wins just weren't coming. So on November the 23rd, a cherry bomb hit the Hershey Center.
I made up my mind last night, and after the game, and I went down, and it was a very tough thing to do, to fire a friend who you handpicked, and he was very upset.
The Dogs rewarded Halton with a 3-3 tie in his first game as the new coach. And even though they lost a heartbreaker to the Sudbury Wolves before the break, it's evident the Mississauga IceDogs are no longer looking to compete, they're looking to win. In Mississauga, I'm Mark Heinecken for OHL This Week.
The immediate future doesn't look that bright for the Mississauga IceDogs. Talking about 6 rookie defensemen, Jim Halton has a point. The future in question will be much rosier. We'll return to OHL Primetime Saturday edition right after these messages.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Hershey Center in Mississauga, where the visiting Brampton Battalion currently hold a 2-1 lead after 2 periods of play. The Battalion opened up with a 1-0 lead after the first period and then made it 2-0. And then at 10:13 of the second period, Captain Scott Page, with his 12th of the season on the power play, made it a 2-1 game, and that is our play of the period.
Well, I'll tell you something. Page has been in front of the net the whole time. Surik lets the shot go from the blue line. Page deflects it. Chant really had no trouble or no opportunity to stop this one. A beautiful deflection facing the wrong way. And Scott Page comes up with the goal, cutting the lead of the battalion in half. And that's where we stand right now, Mark.
Quick look at our scoring summary in the second period. Bateman from Torres. That, of course, is Scott's 12th of the season. And the goal that you just saw, Scott Page, his 12th of the season as well from Ivan Surik and Brett Theobald. By the way, all goals this afternoon coming on the power play.
33-22 shots on goal, almost a direct opposite from our face-offs for the first two periods, as Brampton leads that category 32-25. But the important face-offs, the ones deep in each end of the rink, are the ones being won by the IceDogs centermen.
There you see some of the visiting Brampton Battalion fans that have made their way out here. Josh Evans in the pipes, or in between the pipes again for the Dogs. A little bit of a knee problem for goaltender Nick Foley, but they expect him back in the nets for next Friday's game. And that, of course, well, it may or may not be good news for Josh Evans. Being a goaltender, always like to see as much action as possible. And both Brampton, not as much as Mississauga, pretty much played a rotating goaltender. They just go back and forth.
Yeah, they certainly have. Scott Delavadova, the backup goalie tonight for the battalion, is the one that has been seeing some ice time, but he hasn't been that strong the last couple of starts for the battalion.
Viewers in the Mississauga region, you'll be able to see the Kitchener Rangers when they come to town to take on the Mississauga IceDogs. 10 p.m. right here on Rogers Community TV. Conversely, Brampton Battalion fans, head out to the Brampton Center for Sports and Entertainment when the battalion will be taking on the Peterborough Petes. Just about set to go to start this third period.
Important for the IceDogs right now to kick things off and start strong in the early going of this third period. They can't let the battalion get the upper hand in the early going.
The battalion win the face-off, gain possession, and is Frya now in over the Dogs' line, offside called. As Blair McLaughlin had a skate on the wrong side of the blue line, so we'll have a face-off just outside the Dogs' zone.
Yeah, that was really Scott Page knocking Reynolds over the blue line rather than Reynolds being ahead of the play. He really just pushed him ahead of the play, and that's great. That's good smartness from Page to get him across offside, making sure they don't get an opportunity.
Well, we've mentioned him lots of times, and Captain Scott Page has played a very good game for the IceDogs this afternoon. Clare rubs his man out along the boards, and now it's Page that has it. He has Cowan along with Clare on the near side, and Clare gets the pass, couldn't quite hold on to it, and Harrison rides him off. Centered now to Page, couldn't keep the puck with him as he went towards the slot. Cowan has it. Back to the point to Orr. Waits. A little out of his reach. His centering pass is stopped by Parthenay, and he just sends it the length of the ice. So Armstrong comes back to touch it. The battalion will be penalized the full sheet of the ice, and we'll have a face-off back in the Brampton Battalion zone.
You know, Dan Armstrong has played a great game so far for the Dogs. Really takes care of his own zone well and allows Blake Gore some room to move, knowing that Armstrong is back to take care of his own end.
Well, there you have a look at the phenom in the OHL, number 9, Jason Spezza. Played his hockey with the Toronto Marlboros in the midget division last year.
Yeah, we talk about Spezza and being so far behind Sheldon Keefe, but he's also 3 years younger than Sheldon Keefe and a rookie in this league. We'll see what he is at 18 years of age.
Theobald now has it for the Dogs. Fires it. Shank gets a pad on that one. Baylor gives chase against McSwain. And McSwain is able to get it up ahead, and McLaughlin, or rather Coughlin, takes his man out. That's Spezza. Surik, line backhand pass. Coughlin has to stay with his man. Comes to the point now. One time, steps in. Evans with a save. Rebound comes right out to the speedy Thaler. And over the line, his shot is blocked by Maleko. And Theobald looking for a hit on the Brampton captain, but he saw it coming. Swain hit along the far boards by Niddle. And now Brampton comes out with it. We're going to have a penalty coming up against the Dogs.
An errant pass through the middle, and it gets by McSwain, goes all the way down. And to be honest with you, Mark, I really didn't see the penalty on that one. I thought that was just a good hit.
Well, it looks like it's probably going to be Adam Niddle. And I'm guessing they're going to call that on the hit on Kirk McSwain on the far board. So the Brampton Battalion will go to the power play, and they have been effective, getting to past goaltender Josh Evans.
I think they're going to call that one more on reputation than on the hit.
Well, Brampton 2 for 5 with the man advantage. As Raffi Torres leans in against Scott Page, and Torres wins the draw. Or takes Torres out, giving Page time to get the puck and send it down the ice. Maleko waits till things get set up properly, takes the return pass from Havel. Lead pass now into Bateman, rolls off of his stick, and Armstrong's in there first. They'll touch it. Sounded like a whistle, could have been one of the fans. Nevertheless, the Dogs send it right back down the ice. Page is in there first for Mississauga. Theobald calling for the pass, but Page decides to just rag it along for a while and kill a little time.
You know, Scott Page does a great job of beating his man to the puck and really just beat Maleko outright. Now Maleko's doing the same thing, lollygagging after this puck as well.
And Thaler's in there to force him a little bit. And now Maleko has it. Near side to Havel. A little miscommunication between him and Jason Maleko, and the centering pass is picked off there by Davis. Now Bateman retreats in his own end.
Mark, what it comes down to is if you're tired, get the heck off the ice.
Maleko again, in over center. Gets it onto the stick of Bateman. Offside called on the far side. Scott Thompson on the wrong side of the blue line. So that'll bring about a face-off just outside the Mississauga zone. 42 seconds left in the man advantage for the Brampton Battalion. They lead it by a score of 2-1.
And for the first minute and 18 seconds of this power play opportunity for the Battalion, they have been sloppy at best, really hemmed up inside their own zone, and not by some nifty forechecking or tight forechecking by the IceDogs, simply because of bad passing and bad movement of the puck.
Page knocks it away from Spezza on the face-off, and that's knocked down a little farther by Clare, who gives chase against Harrison and comes up with it. Fraser Clare looking to get a whistle as he tries to pin it against the boards. And that doesn't work, and Spezza comes out with it. Barker on the near side, Bateman in towards center, or rather McSwain now. Parks it in front of the net. They get it back to Harrison, who does a fine job, I thought, of keeping it in, but I stand corrected. The sharp eyes of linesman Steve Webb right there to call it.
Well, Jay Harrison's really turned into a good player in this hockey league. He's really moved along and progressed game in and game out for the Battalion. He's moved, they put an A on his sweater, and it seems to have lifted some of the confidence for the youngster as well. The first round draft choice for the Battalion.
Playing for the Oshawa Legionnaires last season. And Harrison now has it. Page rubs his out along the boards, takes a few of the Battalion out as well. They're sitting along the bench now. Woods circles in behind his own net, and again Page hassling him. Swing. Penalized player Niddle back on the ice. Dogs kill the shorthanded situation, but it's Brampton that has it. Pass on the near side to Woods. Couldn't handle it, coming in between his skates, and Surik moves it ahead to Wiseman. Offside called on the two-line pass as Surik started that one from his own end.
I don't know if it's our vantage point or what, but that's the second offside in a row that's been called that I thought was very close, and if not, could have gone either way. Chad Wiseman really looked like he was ahead of the play on that one, but it was waved down. Wiseman, the Burlington native, has 17 points on this season, and that's a kid we talked about earlier that has a great burst of speed, and when he wants to turn it on, goes to the outside, and join him with Savage and Dickenson, and they can be a tough line up front for the Dogs.
Third round selection, Chad Wiseman. As Doug pointed out, from the Burlington Cougars of the OHA. Surik in there with Lecce. Lecce pins Surik along the boards, and Brampton comes up with it. Maleko directs one towards the net. That's wide, and Coughlin take his man out. McSwain, and we'll have a whistle on the far side.
Scott Thompson out there with Matt Lecce and Richard Kearns, and we've seen Thompson fall from the number one line with Jason Spezza all the way down to this spot duty line, I guess you could call it, being the fourth line for the Battalion. Thompson centering this line, where with Spezza he plays on the right side. He's been replaced there by Brian Barker.
Well, they have been effective in stopping the rookie line of the Dogs. That, of course, Wiseman, Savage, and Dickenson. And that line has had not much to say in the outcome of this game so far this afternoon. Wiseman now gets it up to Dickenson. He has Savage with him. Ian Dickenson is brought down, and the IceDogs will go to the power play.
And Dickinson's speed is the one that turned that one around. And there's Richard Kearns. He's seen some limited ice time. I'm wondering, because Thompson was out because of injury, I'm wondering if they're just getting his skates and getting him back to his legs underneath them to give him some duty. Here's Dickenson hauled down from behind, and Kearns really just tries to keep up with Dickenson. He got the stick underneath the armpits and hauled him down.
33 seconds. For Brampton, Richard Kearns, 2 minutes for hooking.
So a face-off in the face-off circle to the left of goaltender David Shant. Page, Niddle, Theobald up front for Mississauga for this power play. McSween and Spezza will kill it for Brampton.
You should see a good battle in front of the battalion net with Parthenay and Niddle moving in there.
Davis able to send it a little lower into the Brampton zone. Niddle gets it free to Page, can't make his way towards the net. Niddle got it. That shot is deflected and goes into the corner. Parthenay hit by his counterpart, number 19, Theobald, but Brampton gets it out. Page not moving the way he wanted to, circles in his own end, stops, and now starts it out. Give is to Davis. He enters the Brampton zone, soft pass down low. Causes a little trouble for Page, he's able to get it. Harrison had his hands on it and couldn't get it out.
That's another opportunity that the battalion have flown, getting the puck out of their own zone.
Coughlin working the give and go with Theobald. He lets it go down to Page, and now Coughlin has it with a chance to shoot, and Spezza does a nice job to block that one. He's out of the play now, centered in front, bouncing puck, and Chant with a bead eye on that loose puck. Gets the glove on it with 1:02 left in the power play for the Dogs.
Harrison and Page a little pushing and shoving at the side of the net. They had some words. We'll have to see what happens if they get to stay out there. Jason Spezza with a great second effort on this opportunity at the blue line. He tries to get Niddle on the far side, then he dives to block it at the blue line. There's the shot. Parthenay takes a whack at it high, and there you see Harrison going at it at the side of the net.
Dickenson gets the draw back to Armstrong. Didn't like the avenue, dumps it off on the far side to Wiseman. Shot right on, handled by Chan, and he will freeze it.
And that's something, as we talked about earlier, Mark, you're going to see David Chan do all the time, and that is fall on loose pucks wherever possible. Don't give anybody a second and third opportunity, because this young defense corps of the battalion will give up those opportunities if given the chance to do so.
Or an Armstrong manning the points for the Dogs. Dickenson, Savage, and Wiseman up front. Barker able to tie up his man Dickenson. Mississauga is able to get it. Wiseman down low to Dickenson. Savage manning his spot in front of the net. He's got Woods all over him. And Dickenson has it with a little empty ice. Couldn't get the shot in front of the net, or has it, directs one towards the net. And there to intercept is number 6, Cam McLaughlin, and he'll send it down the ice. Bateman and Barker out front to kill the penalty for Brampton. Woods and McLaughlin back at the point. Dickenson just sends it in and avoids a late hit coming on there from Bateman. Comes back to the point to Armstrong. Shot deflected loose, and nobody there but a battalion to gather it up and send it down. And Cam McLaughlin a little slow to get up. Quite tell if he took the shot on the ankle as Armstrong sends one towards Chan. He stopped that, and Kearns is back on the ice and gets the puck now. Kearns with Armstrong to beat, and Armstrong bounces him off the puck, and Orr will now try to get it. McSween in there quickly, and Kearns comes up with it. Dickenson and McSween, neither one can get it. Now McSween has it, tries to center it, still loose and batted away by Orr. Page gets it out of his own end and is brought down by Torres, or rather McSween, but it's Hodges with a shot, they score! Low shot beats Josh Evans, and now Brampton is up 3-1.
We saw Jason Spezza pick the puck up out of the net. That whole play was simply because of a sloppy line change by the Dogs inside their own zone. Dickenson and Wiseman head to the bench, and they head to the bench a little too late as Hodges steps in, gets around over to the outside. Still shouldn't have been a problem, and Evans should have had this all the way, beat him through the 5-hole, did Hodges, but that whole thing was set up because Dickenson and Wiseman went to the bench and the puck was not out of their own zone.
So the Brampton Battalion strike first here in the third period. They have their same total and now lead it by a score of 3-1.
Brampton goal, his first goal of the season, scored by number 22.
Well, there's still a lot of time left in this hockey game. 12:48 to go in this hockey game, and we're just going to start seeing some rough stuff if the hard hitting will continue, that's great, but the rough stuff could start if you see Battalion get on by another goal.
Well, the man from Garson, Ontario gets his first goal of this OHL season. Matt Hodges has given the Brampton Battalion a 2-goal lead now with 12:48 left in the third. Partheny sends the backhander down the ice. Coughlin in there first to touch it. Icing will be called.
Yeah, I really like this lineup front right now for the IceDogs. Claire and Cowan play so well together, and if you move Page into that line, it becomes not only a hard-hitting line, but a line with some pretty soft hands as far as having Cowan and Claire.
As well as two centermen, Fraser Clare, very adept at taking the face-offs, and Scott Page, who for the first time in his career has become a centerman this season for the Dogs. Ties up Bateman as Clare sends it in around the net. Bounces with Torres. Partheny sends it on the near side now to Havel. Havel, quick give and go with Bateman. Surik makes him reroute. They get it in behind the net. Trying to come out with it is Torres, but now Surik was there to bump him off the puck, and Page will bring it out. Page, dumping attempt, banned on that one. Claire tries to pursue it, that doesn't work. Harrison slaps it on the near side. Armstrong now has it and lifts it into the far corner.
They're going to wave that one down again, and it's important for the Battalion right now not to sit back on their haunches. They need to still keep going at the IceDogs. Conversely, it's very important for the IceDogs to take the play to the Battalion. This is a young Battalion defense and a smaller Battalion defense. They can bang them inside of the Brampton zone.
Baylor and McLaughlin. Baylor kicked it over, but his brother Cam McLaughlin, who now sends it into the Dogs zone. Trying to chop it out there was Armstrong. McLaughlin in there to follow it. That, of course, Blair, but that was moved ahead with a glove, so we'll start it all over again.
You know, that's usually a rare play, watching a guy glove the puck ahead. We've seen it, what, 5 or 6 times so far today?
Well, with the amount of college bowl games that have been on this weekend, as well as the NFL playoffs that are taking place, you just, I guess you just can't help yourself. Face-off just outside the Dog zone. Thaler and Blair McLaughlin will lean in to take it. Theobald is able to get it for the Dogs and sends a slow one into the Brampton zone. Cam McLaughlin in there first, but Theobald was able to get it. Right back onto the stick of Cam McLaughlin. He just sends it in towards center ice, and now Niddle to try and calm things down as they work the defensive passing. Armstrong bounced by Freya. And we've got a piece of the plastic that holds the top of the glass on the ice just outside of the blue line. Hopefully that doesn't come into play. Puck deep in the Brampton zone. Niddle trying to poke it ahead. That doesn't work, and Brampton just clears it out.
Well, the Battalion are changing players very quickly. They seem to be out there 20, 30 seconds at a time and not waiting for a stoppage in play. Seems every time they're caught up in their own zone, they're setting a fresh line out when they finally do clear the zone.
11:03 left here in the third period. Brampton on top, 3-1, thanks to Matt Hodges' first goal of the season. IceDogs out shooting Brampton by a 37-25 margin, although not too much puck generation towards each goalie here in the third. 4 shots for the Dogs, 3 for Brampton. Savage looking for his bonnet to get it back on. Brampton coming out. And over the line is Barker. Tried to take the low route to get past the Mississauga defender. That doesn't work as Davis just wraps it along the boards and out. The Dogs want to make defensive changes.
Davis and Coughlin both did a great job there of clogging up that center zone in front of Josh Evans.
Armstrong watched by Spezza. His pass is picked up by McSwain, and Spezza almost got that one, and he's going to be called on the offside. 10:24 left now here in the third period. Mark Heinecken along with Doug Anderson up in the booth. Our host, Mark Heron, down at ringside. A Saturday afternoon edition of OHL Primetime coming at you live from the Hershey Center here in Mississauga. Fraser Clare will lean in for the Dogs against Jeff Bateman. And Davis, one-hand backhand attempt doesn't work. Bateman takes a hit from Clare, and Clare gives him a second one just to finish it off. Cowan trying to spring Page loose. That's sent in deep, and Page is watched by Parthene. His centering pass, Page's, doesn't work. Good pursuit by Cowan. Sends it down low. Page met by Harrison. Parthene is able to move it along to Torres. Good forechecking now by the Dogs as they try to keep it deep in the Brampton zone. Bounced high off the glass, and now Brampton is able to get it out. And Bateman bearing down on Coughlin in a hurry, and he was lucky enough to get it out.
I'll tell you something, Mark. Cowan has done an excellent job of going after and finishing off his checks in this shift.
Davis circles in and around to pick it up. Brampton completing the line change. Cowan coughs it up. McLaughlin couldn't get a decent shot up as the arm goes up of referee Craig Spezza.
Looks like we're going to get a slashing call going against the Dogs. And it's going to be Cowan going up. I didn't see that penalty.
Well, it could be a situation, a late change, as number 14, Daryl Cowan, was waiting to get off the ice in a situation where he coughed the puck up and maybe decided to make sure his player didn't get in free.
Take a look at it on the replay and we'll see. There's Cowan as he took the shot at McLaughlin. Really, that's the second time in the third period that we've seen the Battalion go on the power play for what, I don't know about you, but I really don't consider a major infraction in OHL hockey.
Well, the Battalion 2 for 6 so far on the afternoon with the man advantage.
Last time the IceDogs were able to kill off the penalty, and it wasn't until a couple of minutes later that the Battalion scored the third goal.
Battalion get it, and they get it to Captain Maleko. He tried to send it down to Spezza. Couldn't handle the high pass, and Orr sends it down the ice. Brad Woods gives it to his partner Maleko. He couldn't handle it. Thaler just sends it back in behind the net. Woods will take his time. Now gives to Maleko and the relay to Spezza. Barker and McSwain up front for Brampton. Spezza circling, tries the short side, and Evans is there to keep that one from slipping past him.
Boy, Spezza was certainly given a lot of room to move on that one.
Back to the point now to Woods with time. The shot right on, and Evans gets enough of that with the glove to keep that one from going past him, and we're going to have a counter penalty on a slash.
Blake Orr knocks Jason Spezza down from behind, and he really, I don't know if that was a slash as much as a hook, and you see, I don't know if we can get a shot at the IceDogs bench, but they're questioning everything now from Spezza, the referee. The door is open, and Jim Holton is standing there saying, okay, what do we got to do inside our own zone? Just tell me what we have to do. Can you come over here and explain to me exactly what's going wrong?
Well, there you see head coach Jim Holton not happy about this call here.
Well, he certainly hacked at him there, but Spezza was going down on the play as it was, and he didn't haul him down. It's on the slash on Spezza as he came away from the puck, but I'll tell you something, I'm not sure Orr got a piece of him. I think he got more of Spezza's stick than he did of Jason Spezza. But a two-man advantage now, and a crucial two-man advantage for the Battalion. and very crucial for the IceDogs to kill this one off, Mark.
No doubt about it, Doug. A big opportunity for the Brampton Battalion to get themselves a 3-goal lead. As Doug pointed out, they will enjoy a 2-man advantage for the next 1 minute and 3 seconds. Now, that puck not dropped properly, so they'll do it all again.
You know, to be honest with you, Mark, if the Battalion don't even score on this, and what they do is waste another 2 minutes off the clock and put a little pressure on guys like Scott Page, who's going to see a lot of ice time in the next 2.5 minutes.
Woods looking for the cross pass to Havel. Couldn't get it right on the tape. Decides to give off now to Bateman. Claire, Page, and Davis out to kill it. Evans gets a shoulder on that one to send it over the net. Claire in there with Woods and Bateman, and a good job there by Davis to just chop it down the ice.
Boy, Jeff Bateman forgetting inside the IceDogs end that he had 2 wingers with him and elected to try to do it all himself.
Maleko. Give on the near side here to Bateman, lets it go through his skates. He's brought down as he enters into the dog zone, and Havel picks it up. Torres, Woods, and Maleko on the power play for Brampton. Shot stopped by Evans. Bateman in behind the Dogs' net. Centering pass, and Woods pinching in a little too far. Couldn't corral the pass from Bateman, and that's a lucky break for the Dogs. Cowan back on the ice. 52 seconds left in the man advantage for Brampton. And Brampton, pretty much through this whole third period, have had trouble getting going from their own end, particularly behind their own net for the power play, so they give to Spezza. Spezza dodges Theobald and still has it. Walks in, centered in front, and McSween is stopped by Evans on a big stop by the Dogs goalkeeper, and they come right back. Theobald ridden off by Maleko. Theobald in solo gets it towards Chant. And that kills a little time with 17 seconds now left in the power play for Brampton.
3 Battalion defenders inside their own zone. No way Theobald should have had that opportunity.
Baker sets it up in the Brampton end. Gets the return pass. McSween being watched by Davis. Spezza has it. Or back on the ice. Mississauga back to full strength. Davis with time to get it out of his own end. Goes around Barker and fires it into the Brampton zone. That got caught up in the linesman. In behind the net. Chant out of the net, they score!
Well, David Chant shouldn't have been where he was, and he got caught. He played the puck around the back of the net, and he didn't look where he was playing it before he shot the puck. The Mississauga player standing right there. Open net for Cowan. He put it home. It's a 3-2 hockey game.
Well, Daryl Cowan is rewarded, as you point out, Doug, because the Brampton Battalion were caught maybe being a little lackadaisical.
Always a big lift when you can kill off a 2-man advantage. And there's Cowan all alone. Maleko tries to cover the side of the net. And Cowan's left all alone. Look at all the green jerseys around Daryl Cowan, all the time in the world to put the puck into the yawning cage.
And you know what, interesting watching that replay as we wait for the official announcement.
You know, a lot of credit goes to Fraser Clare on that one.
Well, that's what I was going to point out. Page had the puck on the far side behind the net, and it was quickly, Fraser Clare pointed out, center it in front, center it in front. There's no one manning the cage. So the Dogs back in this game as Orr decides to go with the shuttle pass from inside or on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage, and that'll be brought back inside the Mississauga IceDogs zone.
Well, we've talked about Cowan most of tonight, this afternoon, and he has played a strong game all over the ice. He's been finishing his checks, and finally, he's rewarded for all the hard work so far this afternoon with a big goal to put the IceDogs back into this hockey game. They're only down by a goal right now, and they've got the big line out there as well.
And ironically enough, the last 2 goals, both first-timers for the respective players. Daryl Cowan now with his first on the year as he was able to match Matt Hodges. He got the 3rd goal on the night for the Brampton Battalion, and that was Hodges' first goal of this season. So with 5:45 now left in the 3rd period, the Brampton Battalion now lead it by 1, 3-2 your score. The Dogs out shooting Brampton 39-30 so far this afternoon. Thaler trying to tie up his man McLaughlin. Shot, and Evans is there and will freeze it.
And that's what we talked about. Woods lets the shot go from the blue line, lets a high wrist shot go instead of the low hard one we saw Surik shoot in the second period that resulted in the IceDogs' first goal. He let it go high, he let it go hard. Evans had no problem with that one whatsoever.
Davis, a quick conversation with Adam Niddle. Thaler and McLaughlin now ready, and Frya sends it into the far corner where Coughlin will just bounce it off the boards and out. Loose, picked up by Thaler. Has Theobald with him, a blast chance, nice save. Rebound comes off on the near side. Bounced in along the boards. Adam Niddle takes his man out. And that is Blair McLaughlin.
Oh, a good hard hit from Adam Niddle on McLaughlin and rattled McLaughlin's head against the glass, and that's why he is still down.
Now you got to wonder, that was pretty close to the whistle. If we can hear it, we will let you know.
Yeah, let's see if we can just hear the whistle on this replay.
No, unfortunately, won't have that cued quite yet. But
watch McLaughlin's head as Niddle goes in, get the elbow up a little bit, but just rattles his head against the glass.
Well, the elbow possibly a little high there from Adam Niddle. Blair McLaughlin being tended to down on the ice. Let's hope nothing comes of that.
Well, Scott Thompson has gone to the box for the battalion. It looks like Niddle's being waved into the box as well by Spezza, and I don't know if that's from the hit or if that's from a little fracas afterwards with Thompson.
Well, I'm quite sure Scott Thompson came in to try and stick up for his man.
Well, McLaughlin saw Niddle coming on that one, but so it's not a hitting from behind kind of penalty. If anything, he's going to give him an elbowing penalty. But it's more the neck that they seem to be worrying about right now on Blair McLaughlin.
Jay McDonald out there as well. That, of course, the Mississauga IceDogs trainer. And he's joined along with Doug Miller, the Brampton Battalion trainer, and they do not want to take any chances at all because, you know, Doug, you could hear that bounce off the glass from all the way up here.
Yeah, watch McLaughlin on this one here, Mark, as he goes along. He just falls, and he falls right to his knees after being hit by Niddle, so I don't think he really knew where he was after he was hit. Niddle gets the elbow up. There you see it, right in the back of the neck, at the crux of the neck and the shoulder, and he also jammed his head right into the boards, and that's where he did. He just slumped right down to his knees, and McLaughlin then just sat right there until the trainer, Hamlin Smith of the battalion, could get to him. He has a bleeding nose, as we can see right here, and we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully it's not too serious. He seems conscious. He seems to be able to talk to everybody.
Well, that's encouraging to see. As you say, Doug, he looks alert, and it looks to me as if he has his faculties with him and just is pretty much saying, listen, my nose is in a lot of pain right now, and hopefully there's nothing any more than that. But as we've pointed out a few times, they want to take full precautions. You cannot take any chances with potential neck injuries. And
yeah,
good to see that both trainers are out here tending to the injured Brampton Battalion.
Absolutely. When someone's down, it doesn't matter what color the sweater is, and they want to make sure that he's okay, especially when it could be something serious like a neck injury. They're immobilizing the neck right now, and you'll probably see them pull out the neck brace, checking his jaw, and they're checking the side right where the jawline meets the bottom of the earlobe. That's exactly where they've been touching on both sides, and we'll have to see if Blair McLaughlin, anytime there's blood present on a player, you'll see the trainers put on those gloves, and it's just a precautionary measure.
Interesting you point out as well, Doug, the especially hits, and it's a lot of players, and well, not only players, but trainers and especially dentists have been a big advocate of some sort of mouth guard as best you can in some way, shape, or form because of the impact when you have to close your mouth so fast. There's air that is compressed. That goes towards certain extremities in your brain. That can often cause concussion. Well, a good round of applause as they've got Blair McLaughlin slowly getting up and about. Stay with us. We'll be back. Brampton on top. as they are leading it by a score of 3-2, and we will stay with the action now. And a hearty round of applause for number 27, Blair McLaughlin out of Kenora, Ontario. He is up and on his feet, and thank God they don't have to use the neck brace, and hopefully there's no more damage other than a bounce on the bugle.
Good to see him going off under his own pressure. A little smile coming from McLaughlin as he leaves the ice. Hopefully it's just a bloody nose is all he gets from this, and maybe a bruised jaw, but that was a huge hit from Adam Niddle. I didn't really see a penalty on that. I don't know if Niddle's in the box now because of that incident, or is he because of something that happened after the whistle? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, it could well be the skirmish after, and I believe you're correct, Doug. It could just be offsetting minors, but boy, oh boy, Adam Niddle really rocked Blair McLaughlin. You could hear that hit all the way up here in the gondola.
Brampton penalty to number 26, Scott Thompson, 2 minutes for high sticking. IceDogs penalty number 16, Adam Niddle, 2 minutes for boarding. Time with all penalties, 14 minutes. So indeed, they're going to give Adam Niddle a penalty for boarding. That, of course, is the hit that he put on Blair McLaughlin. And I'm not sure when Scott Thompson's high sticking penalty occurred, but those two penalties will end up washing each other out.
What that does is effectively negate any power play.
Dickenson able to win the draw, centering pass. Wiseman didn't see it. The flip pass just goes off the top ledge, and Dickenson comes up with it. 3 Dogs now in the Brampton zone. Dickinson's shot deflected, and Chan easily gets a glove on that one. So we'll have a whistle to the left of the Brampton Battalion goaltender.
You know, Mark, how often have we talked this afternoon about effectively clearing your zone? And that's not just getting the puck across your own blue line. That's moving the puck outside of your own zone and in a forward motion, at least to get it into the offensive zone. The Battalion have not been successful, especially in the third period, moving that puck out of their end of the rink.
Dickenson against Spezza. And it's Dickenson that wins it. Gets it to the point, shot deflected, and Chan again is there in a good position to see that low deflection come, and we've got a little bit of a skirmish between Spezza and it looks to be Sebastian Savage. We're going to join our host, Mark Heron, now, who has somebody with him. Mark.
Mark down at ringside, number 27, Blair McLaughlin from the Brampton Battalion. Seems to be okay. He walked off under his own power, and it looks like all he has is a little cut on the nose. The doctors are in there right now. He is in the Brampton training room getting looked at.
Thanks very much, Mark. That's great news as we pass that on to anybody who's tuning in from the McLaughlin family. And I'm quite sure the Billets, who Blair McLaughlin is staying with, no damage. Barker shot right on, stopped by Evans. Still loose. Spezza swipes at it, and they missed on the far side. Big opportunity there for Brampton to make it a 4-2 game. Dogs coming back now. Dickenson into the Brampton zone. Give to Wiseman, and intercepting that is Barker. And he'll just slow it down, and Brampton comes back. Quick burst of a potential goal there for the Battalion. Always dangerous. Spezza, and he's ridden off into the boards by Armstrong. And I'm sure that's always something that Jason Spezza is going to have to be dealing with during his OHL career.
Absolutely. Jason Spezza certainly has a quick introduction to OHL hockey. He's the guy that most teams are going to make sure they have a man certainly placed right behind him every time he hits the ice. There's Fraser Clare. He has 8 points on the season, but tonight, or this afternoon rather, he has been the one who has set up most of the opportunities for the IceDogs.
Has 1 assist on the night. That, of course, on Daryl Cowan's goal. Sent down in low to Page. Page centers it back in front. Clare was all tied up with Partheny, and Brampton is able to get it out. Bouncing puck 2 times, 3rd time lucky now for Orr, as he's able to just get it off the far boards and get it out of his own end. Clare pursues Maleko. He coughs it up, and Cowan has it. And over the line. Looking for somebody in front. Page cruising through, is able to get it to Fraser. Clare, backhand pass, still loose, and Brampton finally able to clear it.
Once again, sloppy clearing inside their own zone. First Maleko, and then it was Woods trying to get the puck out of his own end.
Nobody set up in the right spot for the Ice Dogs, and Brampton is able to clear it out. Or gets it across to his defensive partner Armstrong. Bateman watches him, and Armstrong loses the puck, and now Bateman has it and sends it into the Dogs' end. Or high off the glass and out. Barker tips it over to Spezza. He's poke checked by Armstrong, but Barker picks up the loose puck. Theobald stops his progress, and Savage just gets it out. Dogs looking to try and complete their change on the delayed offside. Spezza touches it. We'll have a face-off just outside the Mississauga IceDogs zone, and a chance for head coach Jim Halton to get some fresh troops out on the ice.
You know, Jeff Bateman showing some great hockey sense there. 3 players for the battalion up front were heading to the bench on a change. He saw the play breaking out of the Ice Dogs' end, and he stopped at center ice and let 2 players go to the bench and broke up the play coming through the middle. Jeff Bateman with a little heads-up play for the battalion as well.
Out of Belleville, Ontario, number 25, Jeff Bateman. The 3rd round selection for the Ice, or rather the battalion, is progressing nicely. Spezza and Thaler. Spezza able to move Thaler out of the way, get it back to Hodges, who sends it back in behind the Dogs' net. Evans around the boards on the near side to Theobald, who's able to avoid Spezza's pursuit. And now Davis gets it out and sends it into the Brampton zone. Spezza to Barker. Brian Barker in over the red line and in over the Dogs' blue line. High shot, and Brampton again making quick changes. Baylor stopped by Reynolds. Davis stopped by Thompson along the near side. And that's going to be called on the offside, and number 22, Matt Hodges and Adam Niddle get tangled up briefly, and now Fraser Clare and Matt Reynolds exchange greetings. But I'm sure in a 1-goal game with 2:27 left, neither team will want to get themselves a penalty.
Yeah, and Matt Hodges should know better than inside his own zone to take any kind of a dumb penalty. He's one of the veteran guys, and when I say veterans, for either one of these clubs, you're talking about guys that have been in the league only a couple of years, save the guys like Adam Niddle, who've been around for a while.
Darryl Cowan, the man who gave the Dogs their 2nd goal of the night, out there with Fraser Clare and Scott Page on the other side. Scott Thompson, along with Shane Frya. Manning the far wing is Matt Reynolds. Josh Evans adjusting a little bit of equipment on the low part of his skate.
Shots on goal so far, 43-32 for the Ice Dogs, and once again pushing that 50-shot barrier on David Chan one more time. 32, if you can believe it, Mark, is close to a high for this Battalion Hockey Club. We've said all along, they move the puck around very well, but they don't shoot the puck very often.
Well, a similar shots on goal as it was in the New Year's Eve matchup, Doug. And as we were talking with both coaches, that's some of the positives, being an expansion franchise. The Ice Dogs with 1 win on the season, Battalion with 5 so far, and as Jim Halton was pointing out, everything's a positive, and they are starting to outshoot their opposition. On the other hand, the Brampton Battalion starting to gather some victories. Clare in there to pick it up for Mississauga, trying to get it ahead to Page. Parthene able to stop that from happening, and Thompson now works along to get it out. Reynolds has Fry on the near side. Reynolds' backhand bobbles off his stick, and sending it back is Orr. Parthene pursued by Cowan. He quickly gets it to the other side, sent down the ice. Evans has to play it.
Fry's got to make that decision to forecheck earlier. Either he has to go in hard or he has to hang back. He can't just cruise in and follow the defenseman around the back of the net. You either have to go in hard and go after the body, or you got to hang back and wait for them to come to you. He did neither of those. He just cruised around the back of the net and gave Orr a chance to move the puck out of his own zone.
And there in the background you see with his arms crossed, that's good news to see him back in behind the net, or the bench, Blair McLaughlin.
Well, he doesn't have his helmet or his gloves with him, Mark, so I doubt you'll see him in the last minute and 46 seconds of this hockey game. But good to see him up and walking around.
Torres and Dickenson lead into the face-off dot. Battalion win the draw. Dogs briefly get it and move it out. Niddle hits his man. A bit of a line juggling now by head coach Jim Halton. He's got Lou Dickenson with Brett Theobald and Adam Niddle up front. Evans goes to the bench. And the Dogs get the whistle they want deep inside the Brampton Battalion zone. 1:32 now left in the third period. The Mississauga IceDogs net is empty. And I'm sure we'll have the appropriate timeouts by the various teams and some of the longest line changes in history.
You should see Orr hitting the ice as well, and he'll be the one replacing Evans. So that's why you have Dickenson in the faceoff circle. 3 centermen, 3 guys that can take faceoffs up front for the IceDogs, and that is in case somebody's waved out of the faceoff circle. They have 2 more capable faceoff men moving in.
Dickenson will take the draw, gets it clean back to Orr. With time, shot, a chance, loose, they score! Well, my, oh my, the Mississauga IceDogs pull the goalie, get the extra man out. They get it back to Blake Orr. A big skirmish in front of the net, but the Dogs have tied it up.
This is something we talked about right off the top. Shoot the puck at the net. Good things happen when you shoot the puck at the net. Page, as we've seen many times, gets tied up with the goaltender Chant, and Page is there to stick on the rebound. If that goal had gone in with Page standing in front, it wouldn't have counted, but he got the rebound and was able to put it in. Page will get credit. See, he's standing in the crease, but the puck is not in the net, and then it's Page shoving it in the corner. Harrison takes the swipe at it, and the Dogs are tied at 3.
Well, you got to wonder maybe a few pointers from Elizabeth Manley may have been passed on to Captain Scott Page on that little pirouette in the crease, and he was able to keep himself out of the crease. As you point out, Doug, we've got ourselves a tie game.
Full credit on that one goes as well to Dickenson off the faceoff, outright winning the faceoff. And as we said, the Dogs seem to be winning the faceoffs deep in the offensive zone. Although they are losing them on the whole for this hockey game, deep in the offensive zone, they seem to be winning them.
And that has got the Mississauga fans here at the Hershey Center up and cheering. Scott Page's second goal of the night, 13th on the year. And the Dogs and the Brampton Battalion are tied at 3 with just under 1 minute now to play here in the third. Bounced in on the near boards. Niddle sends it into the Battalion zone. Chant leaves for Hodges.
And as we said, the Dogs seem to be winning the faceoffs deep in the offensive zone. Although they are losing them on the whole for this hockey game, deep in the offensive zone, they seem to be winning them.
And that has got the Mississauga fans here at the Hershey Center up and cheering. Scott Page's second goal of the night, 13th on the year. And the Dogs and the Brampton Battalion are tied at 3 with just under 1 minute now to play here in the third. Bounced in on the near boards. Niddle sends it into the Battalion zone. Chant leaves for Hodges. Cross ice pass. Barker just tips it ahead. Coughlin will send it right back. Cowan gets it to Page. Parthenay watching him. Page just circles and sends the backhand towards the Battalion blue line. Now Raffi Torres has it. Torres can't get past Armstrong. Centering pass intercepted by Clare. And Fraser Clare working hard to get it out. And finally does so.
A hobble deep inside of the IceDogs end. Goes for the puck instead of going to the body. And it was poked by him. And that frees up the puck deep inside of the IceDogs end.
Quick pass into Hobble, who maybe didn't get a quick look at the clock and just sent it in towards the net, and we're going to have a face-off now with just over a second left in the period.
Yeah, maybe he didn't see the clock, but he did see center ice, and all he needed to do was take one more step, cross center ice, and he wastes the rest of his hockey game and go into overtime. Hobble didn't do that. Consequently, the face-off now is deep inside of Brampton's end, and if you saw last face-off where Dickenson was in there and won it outright back to the point, All Orr has to do one more time is get the shot. We see Orr moves to the ice with Armstrong again. But it's going to be Page in the face-off circle this time. I don't know. I would be sticking Dickenson back in the face-off circle after he's won the last 3 in a row.
Well, we'll have to see who Jim Halton goes with. He's got goaltender Josh Evans out of the net, and a timeout is going to be called here while both coaches decide who they want out in the appropriate places.
Yeah, Rob O'Brien took that timeout. And really what O'Brien wants to do right now is make sure everybody up front knows where they're going. They want to make sure everybody has a man to go to. They want to make sure that nobody is left alone, especially somebody's attacking the point men. They don't want clear shots on David Chen. They want to make sure that rebounds or anything of the sort. Best thing that can happen for the battalion at this point deep inside is tie up the face-off. They need to tie up the face-off. We'll take a look at the IceDog last goal again. There's the shot right on, and that is all from Orr at the point and Page in front. Page with a little nifty dance getting around Chant, keeps his balance, puts it home, and that's where we stand at 3 apiece.
Pretty interesting as well there, Rob O'Brien making sure he noticed that his good friend Jim Halton, who is the head coach of the Mississauga IceDogs, had pulled Josh Evans, and Rob O'Brien didn't want to be caught short-handed. Wanted to make sure he had his proper troops out. Puck is dropped. The Dogs decided to go forward right off the bat. Page couldn't really get much on it to throw it towards the net. So as the period winds down, we will go to overtime. We're tied at 3 apiece. Stay with us.
Shots on goal in the third period brought to you by Air Ontario. For Brampton, 11 for a 3-period total of 33. By the IceDogs, 13 for a 3-period total.
Overtime period just underway. IceDogs sending it into the Brampton zone. Claire with a shot, and Chant with a big save. Cowan hustles in there. Bateman trying to get it. It's Claire that has it, centered in front. No one there but Battalions, and here they come. Torres in over center and into the Dogs zone. Claire back to check his man. And Page and or Coughlin will just get it out. Sent back in on the near side. Raffi Torres leaves for Havel. Leaves for Bateman. Shot saved by Evans. Rebound and another stop by Evans. Davis starts out from behind his own and gives right to Lucas Havel. Coughlin on the play, they center. Torres missed a golden opportunity. Page comes back. Dogs on the move, trying to make changes. Page still with it. Shoots. Big low pad save by David Chant. My, oh my, great action here in the early stages of overtime.
Well, right from the start, Mark, Claire did a great job to get around and got it over to Page. A beautiful opportunity right from the start of this overtime period. Harrison like a pylon right there in his own zone as Page goes around him with a great opportunity. Watch Page on this one. He goes around Harrison like he's a pylon standing still. Whoops, see ya, gone. Here comes the shot, and Chant with a big pad save.
And earlier down at the other end, Matt Coughlin trying to come out to stop the shot, let Lucas Havel center to Raffi Torres, who had himself a great chance.
Torres couldn't believe how much time he had on his hands and really fired it just a little wide.
Face off deep in the Brampton zone. Middle in to take the draw for the Dogs. He's up against Barker. Battalion get it, circling is Hodges. In on him quickly is Niddle. Spezza just chips it along the top of the boards and out. Armstrong with McSween watching him, gets it out to center. And now the Battalion will send it back in or just lifts it back out. A late goal by the Mississauga captain Scott Page at 18:33 tied this game up. His second on the night and 13th on the season. We're deadlocked at 3.
You know, we talked about Spezza, the referee, a little earlier, and some what we may consider questionable calls on penalties. He is doing a great hockey game, but this is overtime, and you'll probably see the whistle go into his pocket for the next 3.5 minutes or so.
Face-off just inside the Mississauga IceDogs zone will get you caught up quickly. It was Brampton that opened up a 1-0 lead after the first period of play. And then they made it 2-0 thanks to Jeff Bateman. The Dogs answered back. Page's first on the night, 2-1. And then it was 3-1 Brampton on Matt Hodges' first goal of the OHL season. And then Daryl Cowan answered right back, and then Page tied it up. And that's where we are now into overtime. Fight along the near boards, comes loose to Torres, shot. Evans got a piece of it, didn't see where the rebound went, didn't matter, it's in behind the net. Dickenson along the boards to Savage. Wiseman on the near side takes the pass. Into the Brampton zone, couldn't hold on to it, and Woods sends Wiseman to the ice.
Good job by Brad Woods to take the man instead of the puck.
Centering pass, Chance saw that one and gets a mid on it. We'll have a face-off deep in the Brampton zone.
You know, Mark, for the middle of the third period onwards, you've seen a short bench from the Brampton Battalion. Rob O'Brien really shortening it down to about 2.5 lines. That in overtime could be why the Battalion, especially a guy like Jeff Bateman, seems to be dragging his butt a little bit. Sebastian Savage with 13 points on the season. And I'll tell you something, up front with Wiseman and Dickenson, they are a potent trio.
Second round selection by the Mississauga IceDogs. As you have a look at a very busy David Shant. Face off, Spezza moves it ahead or gets it, sends one towards the net, and David Shant again is there with a save. His 46th of the evening.
And who was that going over the back of David Shant? Scott Page. And who was that shoving Page over the back? Jason Malenko. Take a look at it one more time. Page and Malenko, they've had a great battle all night long. And once again, Page going over top of David Shant.
Barker wins the draw from Clare, but it was Page that got a quick shot off there, and again, David Shant had to be sharp on that.
Well, that breaks the 50-shot barrier for David Shant one more time. It took overtime, but Shant breaks 50 shots again.
Clare again in to take the draw against Barker. Barker able to tie Clare up, trying to get it back to the D. Finally he does, and Hodges gets it up to Spezza. Barker now coming back into the play. Spezza through the center, and Evans outstretches a little to get the glove on it before fast-moving Brian Barker was able to try and tip it past him.
Barker does what you try to teach every winger. Head right to the net, look for a rebound. Evans does what you want to do with every goaltender. Hang on to the puck, put your stick in front of your glove, and don't let anybody get a stick in there.
Well, the look of that young fan's face pretty much tells it all. Everybody here at the Hershey Center on the edge of their seats.
There's Brian Barker. We mentioned he's moved up to the top line, and I don't think it's got anything to do with Scott Thompson playing poorly. Thompson coming back from an injury, maybe just trying to get him back into the lineup and getting him some shifts and some early minutes. Barker's been outstanding in the last 8 or 9 games.
And has really logged a lot of ice time this evening, the man out of Deer Lake, Newfoundland. Poked into the Brampton zone middle, ridden off by Hodges, and gets a second hit there from McSwain. But it's the Dogs that keep it in. Centered out and was behind Thaler, didn't see it. Rides McSwain off, Niddle behind the Brampton net. Into the slot, centered out to Coughlin. Shot saved by Shant. And McSwain wise to lift it off the glass and out. Spezza and Davis. Davis goes down, Spezza has it, time, poke check. Save made by Evans. Rebound Torres, and again Evans is there to freeze it and give us a whistle with 1:55 left in the overtime frame.
That whole opportunity is exactly what we were talking about earlier. Jason Spezza with the long reach. That made that play. It was Thaler coming back with it. Spezza lifting his stick. Thaler losing his footing. And Spezza's got a man with him at this point in time. Instead of trying to get him the pass, he tried to go for the short side and missed the poke check. Great opportunity for Raffi Torres as well.
Good hand-eye to knock that puck out of the air on the clearing attempt by Thaler. Brampton wins the draw, send it in behind the Mississauga net. It's the Dogs that are able to get it out. That goes off a player in the Mississauga bench, and we'll come back into the Brampton side of center ice. 3-3 is the score. 1:46 left here in the overtime period as the Mississauga IceDogs look to put an end of domination that the Brampton Battalion hold over them. They've won all 3 of the previous matches. 6-3, 8-1, and 8-3. Battalion holding the edge against their expansion cousins. And around the far side, Torres sends it towards center. Armstrong there to intercept, but puts it right onto the stick of Bateman. He has Torres with him, as well as Havel. Armstrong looking to pin it against the boards. Clare just moves it ahead, and Orr sends it out. Parthene to Bateman. Decides not to shoot. Centering pass. Torres cruising it. Save. Rebound. Evans again with a nice save. But boy, the Brampton Battalion cruising in with some authority in and around Josh Evans.
Yeah, that's something speed of Bateman, Torres, and Havel up front will do to a defense pairing inside their own zone. Evans does a good job at keeping the pad stuck against the post. Watch this one. The fake shot from Bateman. He'll go to the outside. Now he has the clear shot as Orr attacks, but he gives it to Raffi Torres right in front. Evans with the first save. Havel could not go root, and Evans picks off the rebound.
Face off to the Raider goaltender Josh Evans. Jason Spezza and Adam Niddle having a brief chat with referee Craig Spezza. Everybody organized. Linesman Webb calling for the two combatants, Thaler and Spezza, to enter the face-off zone. Baylor was able to win it, moves it ahead, but Barker has it. Tried to shovel one. Rebound! Off the iron! Niddle knocks it down in behind his own net and will now try to carry it out. Not a good idea. He's stopped there by Barker. Sends into Spezza. Sharp angle shot. Doesn't work. Centered in front. Loose. Havel directs one. Blocker save Evans. Theobald comes out to give his to Niddle. Thaler into the slot. What time? Oh, Jack gets enough on it to send it into the corner. Spezza pokes it ahead to Barker. Gets past Coughlin. Still has it shot, and Evans will hold on to it as everybody's got a partner in a skirmish in front of the net. As Niddle gets a bit of a headlock on Spezza. Great action here with just over 30 seconds left in the overtime period.
Well, I think Spezza really just showing some frustration at Josh Evans because the Battalion had 3 or 4 great opportunities in front of Evans, and he stoned them every time. This is what I mean. Brampton had the puck. Parker does a good job to get around. It looks like Coughlin hooks him, then let's go. And there's the wrist shot right on. Evans hangs on as it hits him right in the chest.
Craig Spezza keeping a sharp eye to make sure that the home team gets the last change. So Scott Page will be up against Scott Thompson. And we're going to have a timeout called here.
Yeah, this will be the Dogs' timeout, and they're going to say what we don't want to have happen is the puck get inside our own zone and us not being able to get it out. What we do want to have happen is have the wingers break to the outside, play the puck along either board. It doesn't matter which one, but make sure you don't play it up the middle. That's where passes get picked off and breaks happen.
11-6, the Brampton Battalion are out shooting the Mississauga IceDogs here in the overtime period. And in fact, that is the first time in this game that they have held the edge in shots on goal. 52-44 totals favor the Dogs. As we get set for the face-off just outside the Mississauga IceDogs zone. Dickenson, Page, along with Fraser Clare up front for the Dogs, all three centers. Bateman leans in for Brampton. Page gets it back to Armstrong, who's able to get it outside of the blue line, and Page picks it up. Trying to chip it past the defenseman. He gets it to Clare. Centered, Dickenson all tied up. No chance receiving that pass. Here comes Brampton. Clare in quick to try and take his man. They give to Maleko. Maleko tries to split several white jerseys. Can't. That was deflected, and Evans makes the save. Still loose. Trying to kick it out, and the Dogs just do. Maleko sends it behind the net. Or chops it out. The clock winds down. What a hockey game between these two teams. It ends in a 3-3 tie with 1 point going to each team.
I'll tell you something, Mark. What a hockey game is right. Both of these clubs played hard from start to finish. The work ethic from both hockey clubs is outstanding. The IceDogs had some great opportunities in the last half of the third period and right through overtime, but really couldn't get that extra marker past David Chant.
Well, there you had a quick look at Josh Evans, and there you have a look at David Chant, probably the best two players out on the ice tonight. The Mississauga IceDogs outshot the Brampton Battalion 52-46 total, but both goalies had to make some very, very big saves.
Yeah, 98 shots on goal and only 3 goals apiece. I got to tell you something, that is a goaltending exhibition if we've ever seen one.
Especially in the overtime stanza. The Brampton Battalion outshot the Mississauga IceDogs 13-6 in the overtime frame. As you have a look at a very happy Adam Niddle.
As selected by Mix 99.9 FM Radio Sports. The third star from the IceDogs with his first OHL goal, number 14, Daryl Cowan. The second star from the IceDogs, number 16, Adam Niddle. And the first star from the IceDogs with 2 goals, number 9, Scott Page.
Well, Captain Scott Page, 2 goals tonight, 13 total on the season, is your first star of the game. All 3 stars, Mississauga IceDogs. Adam Niddle, second star. Daryl Cowan with his first goal on the season, and a big one indeed it was. That brought the Dogs back to within 1 goal. And then, of course, Captain Scott Page with his second goal on the night was able to tie it up. That's how we went to overtime. Tough call on the 3 stars, Doug. You could have asked several players, a couple from, well, right off the bat, both goaltenders, as long as players like Kurt McSwain, who had a good game, and Jason Maleka was out there for a ton of time tonight.
Yeah, you got to figure 98 shots on goal. At least one of the goalies should have been in there. But Scott Page is the number 1 star. He really did have the best offensive game here tonight of any of the players up front.
Bob Boyne along with Bob May and our host Mark Heinecken wishing you all well. And remember, folks, wherever you go, there you are.